Good evening, USFFL football fans. I don't have anything to do tonight. My wife's busy all week. Let's keep the broadcast thunder going. We have a triple header of great games tonight. Saints at Packers in a contest that's going to go a long way to determining the top seed in the NFC. And then we have a couple of AFC divisional battles. All four teams are playoff teams. Ravens at Steelers, Broncos at Chargers. Triple header action tonight as the USFFL broadcast team rolls on. Let's get it going. All right, everybody, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get this broadcast started. 1 second here. They changed some of the controls, so it's not as second nature as it used to be. All right. Let's get that game ID. And first up, Saints at Packers. Whoop. Well, that's it, actually. Well, got a couple of issues here. 1 second. Issues here. There we go. So the broadcast is working. Now I feel better about that. Question is, why is the game not showing yet? I see the formation. All right, they're saying all set now. So I guess they were just taking a second here. So we're about to kick off, and here we are. Opening possession. New Orleans Saints, coached by Dan Sir, and the Green Bay Packers are coached by Scott Mueller. Scott being our software admin. He's the guy that sends you the emails every week to launch the new week. His Packers haven't lost since week 1. He's got a record of 13-1 on the year. Saints are 12-2. First down is an off-tackle run, Kamara, and he's going to pick up 4 yards in his wrong column. Second down and 6. So the Saints, if they win this game at 13-2, would then have the tiebreaker over the 13-2 Packers and would assume that number 1 seed position. Another off-tackle run, Jordan. Was that Jordan Mims who ran that ball? 1 second here. Yep, Jordan Mims. Off tackle. He only got a yard on his right column, so it's 3rd and 5. Out of the shotgun now. Back to pass. Spencer Rattler looking for a flat pass. This goes to his tailback, and that's a big gainer, 15 yards. I stand corrected. That catch was by Kevin Austin Jr. 15 yards on the automatic short gain. Out to the 50 now. And another flat pass to Jawan Johnson. That goes for 10. Saints across midfield at the Packers 40. I forgot who I'm calling here. This game will go lightning fast. These coaches call their plays quickly. So it'll be a little different kind of broadcast. Going to have to not get a lot of info in. And that's all right. I'll go at your pace. So Saints opening drive, 1st and 10 at the 40. Flat pass, 2 men there, and incomplete. It did go to the defensive guard. It's 2 men, so 2nd and 10. Blocking back set with Kamara. Here's a pitch out. Kamara goes around the right side and nothing doing. Kamara. Good call by the defense there. Coach Scott Mueller calling run. And it's 3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers now split out for the Saints. Spencer Rattler in the shotgun. He's got Kamara beside him. Here comes the screen to Kamara. Linebacker stayed home. Receiver opportunity. Kamara catch and run. He got a little yardage, but there's a holding penalty against the offense. So back him up, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 20 at midfield. Pro set formation now. Taysom Hill now in the backfield with Kamara. And it's a screen to Kamara again. 6 on the white die is going to lead to a 10-yard completion on the defensive card. But you're still coming up short. 4th and 10 at the Green Bay 40. Field goal range goes right to the 40, but rather than take a chance on that, Coach Dan Sir elects to punt and gets a pretty decent punt as it's out of bounds at the 12. And the Packers will take over right there with their opening possession. Coach Mueller begins with a 2 tight end set. Josh Jacobs, the tailback. And it's an inside handoff to him. Saints guess run. Good call there. But it goes to the defensive card and a pickup of 5. The New Orleans Saints are rated poor against the run. And that seems to be the biggest difference in these defenses. Saints are poor against the run. Packers rated defensively excellent against the run. Still 2 tight ends in the game here. First game of a triple header tonight. USFFL action. Another inside handoff. Josh Jacobs. And this time he's got a nice roll on his car. That's a short gain. Jacobs out across the 30 and tackled at the 33. Pickup of 16 on the play. First tackle for Kool-Aid McKinstry. New set of downs. Back to pass. Looking short. Jordan Love can't get it intercepted. Picked off by the Saints at the 48-yard line of Green Bay. No return. Alontae Taylor with the interception. And the Saints will take over 1st and 10 at the Green Bay 48. There's a flat pass. Second here. What did we do? Did we lock it up? I sure did. Trying to pull a stat. That's what I get for trying to check something out. My apologies. Let's pull the game back up. I was trying to check on Alontae Taylor. I suspect, if memory serves, he's one of the league leaders in interceptions on the year in the USFFL. But I was wanting to check that. I'll think twice about that as I move forward. We all know the game engine is, it does what it does, but as far as its stability, I'm only going to speak to its credit so far, just to a certain point. Best to just kind of keep it simple. All right, so we're back. It's 3rd and 15 now for the Saints. They're back on their side of the field at their own 47, so Packers defense, after the interception, appears ready to stand up and get the ball back to their offense. Pro set formation. Here's an off tackle. Goes to Taysom Hill on the defensive card, and he's going to get just a couple. 4th and 13. Saints will punt. They're at their own 49. It's a coffin corner from Hayball. And that's going to be, didn't get actually out of bounds, and it's going to be fielded at the 9. Fair catch right there by Jaden Reed. And the Packers will begin 1st and 10 at their own 9. 7:48 to go, first quarter. Still no score. 2 tight end set. Here's a hitch. Jordan Love trying to get to Romeo Doubs, and no good, incomplete. 4 on the white die, not good enough to beat. Linebacker Demario Davis, 2nd and 10. Saints gets run, but it's pass. Love. Back to pass, short. He's going to Romeo Doubs, and that's a catch. First down yardage for Doubs out across the 20 and brought down at the 25 by Kool-Aid McKinstry, his 2nd tackle of the game. 1st and 10 there. Back to pass, looking deep. Empty zone, and going to Jaden Reed, incomplete. That did make it to the defensive card. 0 men, but got a receiver result. And Jaden Reed couldn't pull it in. 2nd and 10. Josh Jacobs still at tailback. Here's a pitch out to him, going to the right side. Jacobs gets his card, but a bad roll and nothing doing. And the fumble. It's on the ground. Jacobs hammered, and it is loose at about the 25-yard line, and it is going to be recovered by the Saints. New Orleans recovers at the Green Bay 25, and they will take over right there, just outside the Green Bay red zone. Spencer Rattler back to pass. He looks short and incomplete. There's a penalty, however. Green Bay was in the neutral zone. 1st and 5 now for the Saints at the 20. First trip into the red zone for either team. Blocking back set with Kamara. Here's a hitch to Kamara. 2 men in zone, but Rattler gets it on his card. Receiver opportunity, and Kelvin Austin cannot make the catch. 2nd and 5. Rattler 3 of 7 so far. Well, you look at Spencer Rattler's card, it's amazing how well the Saints have done this year. I know they've got Derek Carr as well, but Rattler's carded at 228 attempts. Another penalty on the offense. Back up the Saints again. It's 2nd and 10 now. They're at the 25. Rattler back to pass. Looking short. Too much pressure. Forced to dump it off. We're in the flat now to Jawan Johnson, the tight end. And that pass is going to be incomplete. Rattler rolls his interception. Split roll. Misses it. 3rd and 10. From right here, a field goal for Blake Grupe would be 2 to 9 and 12 with no variable risk. Back to pass on 3rd and 10. And it's an off-tackle run, actually. And it's going to be 5 yards. 4th and 5 at the 20. So here comes a 37-yard field goal attempt, 2 through 10. It is good. And at the 4:30 mark of the first quarter, Saints draw first blood. They lead in Green Bay 3-0. Ensuing kick features a nice return from Kesey and Nixon and gets the Packers out to the 39-yard line. They'll begin right there. That drive for the Saints, just 6 plays, 5 yards. But when you get a turnover near the red zone, you can still sneak out with a field goal. Here's a off tackle. This goes to Josh Jacobs, and a short gain as he gets the defensive card and a nice roll. That's a 14-yard pickup. We mentioned the Saints have a poor run defense. An example of that there. Green Bay now across midfield. Another off-tackle handoff right back to Jacobs. Right back to the defensive card, and this time it's good for 8. Credit for that run goes to the right tackle, Zach Tom, 6-rated run blocker. It's 2nd and 2. Jacobs still stands behind a 2 tight end set. Here's an inside handoff to him, and he's going to get 2 yards and a first down. There's a penalty, however, against the defense, and New Orleans was offsides. They'll take that 5 yards and pocket that carry for Jacobs, save it for later. So new set of downs at the New Orleans 34. Inside handoff to Jacobs. There's the short yardage defense, and it's going to be just a couple of yards. Green Bay had been running into a pass defense a lot before that play call, but Dan Sir read that one. 2nd and 8. Jacobs still the tailback, right back to him. Off tackle, right side on the defensive card, and that's going to be 7 yards. And that block was made by the tight end, Tucker Kraft, with his 4 run block. 3rd and 1. Defense guesses run, back to pass. Love looks short and no good. Tried to hit Jaden Reed. Love misses it on his wrong column. 4th and 1 at the 25. Packers are going to go for it. No surprise there. Scott's one of the gambling crew. 2 tight end set with Jacobs again. 4-3 from the Saints. Defense crashes run, back to pass. Short, Jaden Reed looking for a defender reading, and it's caught. Reed beats the defender, Kool-Aid McKinstry. That's a 15-yard pickup, and it's 1st and goal at the 10. 4th down conversion for the Packers. Looking pass. This goes to Jaden Reed. It's caught. Just a 4-yard pickup there. That's the end of the first quarter in Green Bay. Saints are on top 3-0. 2nd and goal at the 6. Packers. Full house set. Defense gets his run, back to pass again. Love, short, and again misses his short pass, wrong column. 3rd and goal at the 6. Love is just 3 of 8 so far with that interception to boot. 3 wide receivers split out on this 3rd down. Jacobs is out. Emmanuel Wilson becomes the tailback. Love out of the shotgun. Defense in a nickel. The safety up close. He's showing blitz. Back to pass. Love avoids the blitz. Looks short. Throws. And again he misses it. This time in his right column. And it's 4th and goal at the 6. And that'll bring out Brandon McManus for a 23-yard chippy. 2 through 11. And he is right through. So the game is now tied 3-3, 14:06. Ensuing kickoff to the Saints. And it is fumble. That kickoff return is fumbled at around the 12-yard line. Let's see who's got it. And it looks like the Saints recovered. There was an offsides call against Green Bay. Let's see if they want to. I think they'll probably make them re-kick it. If you add it to the return, it's just the 17. And indeed, they'll make them re-kick now from the 30. And that's a nice setup. Nice net change there all the way out to the 40. That was a snake eyes return for 32 yards from the 3, but actually the 8 because of the penalty. So great field position for the Saints. They'll begin at their own 40. First down pitch out goes to Kamara, but a dead ball foul. Back up the offense 5 yards. It's 1st and 15. That field goal drive for the Packers, 11 plays, 50 yards. 3 first downs, and a chippy field goal for McManus to tie it up. Pro set formation now. Kamara and Taysom Hill. Back to pass. Rattler looks deep. Gets a reading defensive back in zone, and it's going to be, it was incomplete, but a penalty against the offense. Back them up. 2nd down and 15. Right back to the pro set. And again, Rattler back to pass. Looking short, and it's caught. Pickup of 10. That still leaves about 5 yards here on 3rd down. 3rd and 5. New Orleans from their own 45. Pro set again. Base 4-3 from the Packers. Back to pass. And looking deep. Too much pressure now, dumping it off. This is to the tight end. Jawan Johnson needs 5 for a first down. Rattler on his card. Gets a 7-yard pickup. Move the sticks now at the Green Bay 48. Rattler, not a great card there, but got it done. First down, back to pass again, little hitch. Receiver opportunity, and nothing doing there for Kevin Austin. But a personal foul against the defense. Packers with a big penalty, and that's going to march the Saints all the way down to the 33-yard line. Now in a blocking back set again. Here's a screen to Kamara. Receiver opportunity for him, and a good catch and run. Pick up a 7 there for AK. That makes it 2nd and 3. Now at the 26 of Green Bay. Packers guest run. Back to pass again. Rattler short and no good. Trying to hit Foster Moreau, the tight end. Had a split opportunity, 2 through 4. Couldn't get it. 3rd down and 3. Still in a blocking back set here. Handoff, off tackle, goes to Kamara. Defense gets run, but on the defensive card, Kamara plows forward for 8 yards. Trevor Penning, the right tackle, helps spring that one. Now into the red zone, the Saints at the 18. Safeties up close, showing blitz for the Packers here. That's Xavier McKinney. Back to pass. Rattler looks short. He's going to his tailback, Mims, and no good, incomplete. Jordan Mims, the intended target out of the backfield, 2nd and 10. Kamara back in the game at tailback. Safety still showing blitz. Pitch out Kamara. It was an all-out blitz by the defense, and a big tackle, loss of 3 yards for Kamara. That all-out blitz included from the ends. With a linebacker in zone, excellent run defense. You got what you get. 3rd and 13. Here's an inside run draw. Kamara trying to get it on the defensive card, and he gets exactly 13 yards. Got a +3 reading on the excellent run defense of the Packers with 2 boxes there. And those 2 boxes gave him the 10 yards to make that 3-yard result the exact 13 he needed. Unbelievable. 1st and goal at the 8 for the Saints. Pitch out. That goes to Jordan Mims, and he's good for 4. 2nd and goal at the 4. He got half of it, ironically. The reading is +8. Would have been a touchdown, but it's a little containment. Low usage, run containment. 2nd and goal at the 4. Inside handoff, Kamara. That goes to the defensive card, and it's going to get 3. That was a touchdown if the center could make a block, and a 6 on the white die is the only reason that's not a touchdown. So 3rd and goal at the 1 for the Saints. Pro set formation, Kamara and Hill in the backfield. 4-3 blitz from the Packers. The key is on Hill. It's inside run. Kamara on his card. Touchdown, Saints. Kamara hits his short gain roll from just 1 yard out. And it's a touchdown dive, our first piercing of the end zone for this game. As the Saints go ahead 10-3 after that extra point with 8:06 to go in the first half. Ensuing kickoff is going to get the Packers out to the 30, and they'll begin right there. That touchdown drive for the Saints, 14 plays, 60 yards, 5 first downs, and a touchdown drive from Kamara. Here's a quick slant into an empty zone, and that's going to be a 9-yard pickup for Tucker Kraft. All-out blitz from the Saints, and Love read it well and hit that look in. 2nd and 1. 2 tight end set. Back to pass. Love looking deep. Had the defense guessing run, but incomplete. Trying to hit Jaden Reed. Love in his wrong column. Found an empty spot. Love continuing to struggle even on his wrong column. He is 4 of 11 in this game. Here's a screen pass. Left side on 3rd and 1. Receiver opportunity. Josh Jacobs. And it's going to be... it's a -1 yard on the loss, but he also has a holding penalty. New Orleans declines that holding penalty. They'll take 4th and 2 for Green Bay at their own 38. That's interesting because the Packers are a team that would go for it. And indeed, they've just called timeout after first calling punt. And they say, screw this. Mueller's bringing out the offense. 3 wide receivers, 1 halfback. It's Josh Jacobs. Nickel is what we've got here from the Saints. Saints, again, a poor run defense. Sideline pass. Left side goes to Jaden Reed. Defense gets his pass. 6 on the white die. It's a catch and run. First down, 9 yards. Jordan Love to Jaden Reed with a clutch 4th down. So 2 for 2 4th down conversions in this game for Coach Mueller. And a new set of downs for Green Bay at their 47. Back to pass, looking deep, and no good, incomplete. Love that time. Trying to hit Jaden Reed again. Dialing him up deep several times here in the first half. It's 2nd and 10. Back to pass again. Looking short. He's got Romeo Doubs catch and a first down. And that's a good roll in the double team column. Credit to the Saints coach Dan Sir for doubling the right man, but 1st and 10 now at the 41-yard line. Inside handoff Packers, and Emmanuel Wilson, backup tailback, is ahead for 5 yards. 3rd tackle on the game from Willie Gay. 2nd and 5. 4:48 to go before halftime. Packers trailing 10-3, but they're on the move. Emmanuel Wilson still at tailback. Back to pass. Looking short. Love fires and can't hit his man. Intended for Dobbs. And it's 3rd down and 5 at the New Orleans 36. Field goal range for the Packers goes out to the 38-yard line at a 2-8, 11 and 12. 3 wide receivers, 1 halfback. Love in a shotgun. Nickel defense. And it's an inside run draw to Wilson. To the defensive guard he goes and got just 3 yards. That's not enough. And then a holding penalty to boot. The Saints accept that penalty. It's 3rd and 15 Packers at the New Orleans 46. Take the penalty, get them out of field goal range. 3 wide receivers again. Back to pass, looking deep. Doubled up is Jaden Reed. They're throwing to him anyway, and it's no good. And it was a defender reading, and I'd have to see that defender, but I think that might have been complete if he wasn't double teamed. Coffin corner punt here from the Packers. Angling nicely and out of bounds at the 4. Nice punt there, Daniel Whelan. And the Saints take over at their own 4 with 3:36 to go here in the first half. They're up 10-3 on the Packers. First down flat pass. This goes to Austin. It's caught. Just a 4-yard gain on that one. Austin's third catch. Isaiah McDuffie on the tackle. His 4th. 2nd and 6. Blocking back set, Kamara. Back to pass, flat, going right to Kamara. And Kamara makes the catch, beats the linebacker in zone, and good yardage up the sideline, all the way out to the 27-yard line. Pick up a 19 on that play. An excellent result, or roll, I should say, and result on the short gain chart. 1st and 10, Saints at the 27-yard line now. Out of the shadow of their goal line. Here's a pitch out to Kamara. Right side, his card, nothing doing. Penalty on the play, and it's holding against the offense, so the Saints are going to back up anyway. Now 1st and 20 at their 17. There's a look-in pass, empty zone. This goes to Kamara, catch and run, and he gets half of it. 10-yard pickup in the zero-man column defensively. 2nd and 10. As we reach the 2-minute warning, in Green Bay, Saints are up 10-3. 2nd and 10 play now. We've got Kamara and Hill in the backfield in a pro set. Flat pass, though. We're going to the tight end, Juwan Johnson, and nothing doing as Spencer Rattler can't find it in his right column. 3rd and 10. Dancer has his Saints 12-2. This team is carded for we're going to look at it here in a second. I don't know, 5 wins, 6 wins off tackle, and Taysom Hill is going to get just a yard, and the Saints will have to punt. Green Bay used a timeout and stopped the clock with 1:45 left in the half. Punt from Hayball is 49 yards. That's going all the way back to the 24. A nice return, though. Jaden Reed is across midfield, and a big 39-yard result with Snake Eyes gets the Packers right back into field goal range. 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 38. Packers have just one timeout left, but still 1:37 on the clock. Plenty of time. They trail by 7. Inside handoff out of the shotgun. It's Emmanuel Wilson. To the defensive card we go, and there you go. Short gain. That's going to be a 21-yard pickup. It was actually only an 11-yard result, but there was a box there. That added 10. Nice run, Wilson. It's 1st and 10 now in the red zone at the 17. Wilson still in the game. Back to pass. There's a flat pass right to Wilson, but a penalty. Back up the offense 5 yards. 1st and 15. Now at the 22. Both teams with one trip into the red zone today. Packers got a field goal. Saints got a touchdown. This is the 2nd trip into the red zone today for the Packers. Inside handoff, Emmanuel Wilson, and he's going to get 5 yards, so the penalty yardage is returned. But that makes it 2nd down and 10. Hurry up offense. Now 52 seconds showing on the clock. It's still running. Saints in a nickel. Here's a button hook. Linebacker stayed home. Emmanuel Wilson is the target out of the backfield. Incomplete. And actually got Jordan Love's interception split roll. Missed it. It's 3rd and 10. 37 seconds left on the first half clock. Green Bay 3rd and 10 at the New Orleans 17. They still have a timeout. They've got plenty of time, but they've got to get this first down here. Or at least close if they want to be gutsy. 3 wide receivers are out. Out of a shotgun, back to pass, looking short. Jaden Reed, receiver opportunity for him. It's caught, and Jaden Reed is all the way down to the 1-yard line. Double teamed successfully by the Saints, but only by a linebacker. And Willie Gay couldn't make a difference. Jaden Reed in his right column goes for 16. It is 1st and goal at the 1. 3 wide receivers split out. Still only one timeout for the Packers. 22 seconds left. Here's a sneak from Love to the defensive card. Touchdown, Packers! And with 8 seconds left on the first half clock, the Packers on the verge of tying this game. Extra point by Brandon McManus. He lines it up. And it's right through. We have a 10-10 tie among these NFC Titans. Touchback on the ensuing kick. New Orleans will take over with 8 seconds from their own 30. And that may just vault us right into halftime. Pro set formation. The Packers will drop into a dime. And it was an off-tackle run for 3 yards from Taysom Hill. And the Saints will, however, take a timeout. Kind of makes you wonder if Taysom Hill's got a 70-yard result on his card. Pro set formation. They're setting up again. Just 1 second on the clock. Saints from their own 33. About to go to halftime. Off tackle again. Taysom Hill. And another 3 yards as the first half clock expires. So we are at halftime now in Green Bay. It's a 10-10 tie between the Packers and Saints. Defensive half, Green Bay's outgained the Saints 164 to 137. And I'd say that the headline right now is that Spencer Rattler has a 65 rating. That's not good, but it's twice as good as the 32.8 from Jordan Love. 42% completions from Love, just not getting it done. He also has that pick. Green Bay has outrushed New Orleans 84 to 45. Both teams with 40 penalty yards, so it's even there. But Green Bay has 2 turnovers. And that's part of the equation of how the Saints have made this close so far. That's not giving them enough credit. Let's just say that that's part of what has helped us get to this halftime score. That sounds better. Green Bay now into the second half begins from their own 30 in a 2 tight end set. There's a button hook right away to Josh Jacobs. Catch, run, and that's going to be a first down. Pick up a 10. Got that in the 0-man column, empty zone. And now the Packers split out 3 wides. But crossing them up, inside handoff, Josh Jacobs, and brought down quickly on the play by Demario Davis. Middle linebacker read that one. Jacobs in his wrong column. Hit that 5 number you don't want to see. 2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers, back to pass. Looking deep. Jordan Love, but a little pressure. He's going to dump it off. We're in the flatten out of Romeo Doubs. And Love on his own car gets a receiver result. Doubs with the catch, and he's a little short of a first down. He got 7. So it's 3rd down and 3 for the Packers. From their own 47, back to pass. Love short, goes to his tight end, Tucker Kraft, and no good, incomplete. Receiver result for him as well, and Kraft couldn't get it. It's 4th and 3, and the Packers electing to punt. And Daniel Whelan got every bit of that as that sails deep into the end zone for a touchback. So a quick possession for the Packers to start the second half, and the Saints now with their first possession of the second half. Here's a pitch out, Alvin Kamara, and he's going to lose a yard. Kamara on the defensive card. 4 on the white die. Couldn't beat the defensive end. Kingsley Ngbari. Alvin Kamara's out. Kendre Miller takes over at tailback. He's carded with 39 rush attempts at a 3.8. Here's an off tackle to him. And on his own card, he's going to get just a few yards, but a penalty on the play was against the defense. 5 yards encroachment, and it's 2nd and 6 now. Here's a pitch out, Alvin Kamara on his own card, and nothing doing. Got a bad result there on his own wrong column. 3rd and 6. Bad dice moment for AK. 3rd and 6, 3 wide receivers split out. Nickel here from the Packers. Flat pass to Kelvin Austin. He is doubled, and that's incomplete. Would have been receiver with one-man column because it was a 9 result. Just missed the automatic interception, by the way, with 2 men in that zone. 4th and 6. Here's the punt. 45 yards in the air, and it rolls another 10. And that'll take the Packers all the way back to their 21. And they'll begin right there. Boy, Green Bay fully healthy into this game. I'm just now looking at the injuries, and oh my word, are the Saints shorthanded. Wow. There's an off-tackle run and a short gain on the defensive card. Got a 7 again. That's been a regular theme for the Packers a little bit here. Josh Jacobs now 9 runs, 64 yards in this game. And right back to him off tackle for another 5. Once again on the defensive card. White die treating the Packers run game well. 2nd and 5, Green Bay from their 38. Inside handoff now to Josh Jacobs. Again, the defense gets past. Nothing doing. Offsetting penalties, though. We'll replay the down. 2nd and 5. I'm looking at the injuries, and if you're watching the broadcast rather than listening, you're seeing them as well. Saints are missing 5 big names up here. I'll go over them in a second. Off tackle. And Jacobs again on the defensive card, popping a 7 result for a short gain. There's another penalty, however, and Green Bay flagged for holding. So wipe that away. Packers 2nd and 15 now, way back at their 28. Saints are on defense. Defensively, they're missing Cameron Jordan for this game and another. Cameron Jordan is a star defensive end. There's a flat pass, receiver result, and that's going to be a catch. Tucker Kraft gets 9 yards, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 6 for the Packers. Cameron Jordan is a defensive end with a 5 pass rush rating, left end 4. Actually, not one of his better years. He's been a 6 in other years. 3rd and 6, Packers. Back to pass, looking deep. Going for Christian Watson, and no good as Jordan Love, yet again, misses it in his own card. And the Packers will punt from their 37. 55-yard boot. That's all the way inside the 10, back to the 8. Nice return, though. 13-yard return for Dante Pettis. And the Saints begin at their 21. Now on offense, the Saints on offense are missing Chris Olave, probably their best receiver, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They're also missing their best quarterback, Derek Carr. And if that's not enough, they're missing Jordan Howden. I'm not trying to find out who he is. Off tackle and a 5-yard run for Kamara. Alvin now 10 rushes, 30 yards, so he's not actually lighting up this excellent run defense. Back to pass. It's short, and Rattler hits his man. Pickup of 11. Rashid Shaheed, his first catch of this game. Saints out to the 37. The safety, McKinney, on that tackle. New set of downs. And here's a hitch from Rattler, and that's caught Kevin Austin. Pick up a 6. Rattler on his own card. Rattler, 11 of 21, now 109 yards. Both quarterbacks barely over 100 yards passing in this game so far. 6:36 to go, third quarter. We're all tied at 10. Back to pass, looking short. This goes to Foster Moreau, and that's going to be picked off. Intercepted from the Packers. Intercepted at the 43-yard line. No return. First turnover of the game for the Saints offensively. And Green Bay takes over at their 43, picked off by the free safety, McKinney. Here's a first down run. Josh Jacobs across the 50 and lots of room down the sideline. All the way inside the 30, inside the 20, and tackled at the 19-yard line. 38 yards on off tackle, double sixes, wrong column. And just like that, Packers in the red zone, 1st and 10. Off tackle, Josh Jacobs that time, nothing doing. Credit the defense, call and run on that one, 2nd and 10. Jacobs now 12 carries, 107. 2 tight ends set Packers. Inside handoff, Jacobs again. Wrong column, he's going to get 6 yards. That result right between a couple of short gains, 3rd and 4 at the New Orleans 13. I'll bet he runs again. That poor run defense is is something to attack. Here's a pitch out. Defense guessed run, but it goes to the defensive card. That's not good. And Jacobs is around the end. He's got room to spare. He might score. Toward the goal line. Touchdown, Packers. Josh Jacobs with a 13-yard touchdown run around the end. Extra point McManus is good. And the Packers are now in front 17-10 at the 4:12 mark of the third quarter. Fast-moving game as predicted. After a touchback, the Saints will begin at their own 30. Rattler back to pass. He looks short, and he's got his man, Foster Moreau. First catch of the game for him. Rattler again getting that on his right column. Rattler definitely making the most of the card that he has. Let me put it that way for those who aren't staring at the image here. From their own 42, here's another flat pass. This goes to Austin and incomplete. That time, Rattler flirted with his interception split roll, 2 through 4. Missed it at second down. It's tough to juggle this. Pitch out Kamara and just a yard there because that went to the defensive card. Speaking of which, it's tough to juggle trying to run into an excellent run defense when your option is to pass with a backup card like Spencer Rattler. It's a challenge. 3rd and 9 now. Saints at their own 43. Back to pass. Rattler short and no good this time. Tried to hit Jawan Johnson. Rattler just missing it this time on his card. And the Saints will punt from their 43-yard line. And Hayball, 49-yard punt back to the 8-yard line. Fair catch right there by Reed. And the Packers will begin at their own 8-yard line. Here's a flat pass, and that's going to be a 2-yard pickup. That's all. Jaden Reed. Jordan Love set him up with a nice yak opportunity, and Reed blew it with his dice. 2nd and 8. Here's an off-tackle run. Josh Jacobs in his wrong column. Jacobs is going to pick up another short gain, continuing to hammer this porous run defense. 16 more out to the 26-yard line. Again, defense guesses pass. Dial it up. Off tackle. Jacobs. And nothing doing that time. Gain of 0 as the defensive tackle was good enough for that 4 white die. 2nd and 10. Nathan Shepard on the stop. Back to pass. Short, and it's caught. Tucker Kraft's got a first down. Pickup of 11. Caught the defense guessing run that time. 1st and 10. Packers. Jordan Love now up to 50% completions. First down handoff off tackle. Jacobs, he's good for 5. Just missed the short gain on that defensive card again. 2nd down. Inside handoff. This goes to Emmanuel Wilson. Just a couple yards there. So that'll make it 3rd down and 3. 2 tight ends set for the Packers. It's Jacobs back at tailback again. They're keying on Jacobs, but it's flat pass. This goes to Tucker Kraft. He's got the catch. Beats a linebacker up the sidelines. Big gain all the way down to the 26-yard line. That is a pickup of 30 on the defensive card. 666. And you know what that means, an injury. And you know it's defense, and you know it's going to the Saints because, boy, that's the kind of hole they're in. And that injury is to Demario Davis. Nice inside linebacker. 1st and 10 at the 26. Here's a look in and a 9-yard pickup. And a penalty on top of that. Personal foul against the Saints. It's now 1st and goal. Packers at the 8. About to go up by 2 scores. And Emmanuel Wilson lost a yard on a first down run. It's going to be 2nd and goal at the 9. And actually an injury to Emmanuel Wilson on the play. Full house formation. It's Josh Jacobs. Here's a pitch out to him. Jacobs around the right end. He's going to get 5 yards, beating the defensive end with a white die of 6. So 3rd and goal, Packers at the 4. Big down for the Saints, who are already down by 7. 11:42 remains in the game. Full house set from the Packers. 4-3 blitz from the Saints. Inside handoff. Defense gets his run. Jacobs on his own card. He gets a couple, but that's it. And it's 4th and goal at the 2. And Scott Mueller doesn't hesitate. Let's get that field goal. Brandon McManus right through. And that makes it 20-10. And a little victory there for the Saints defensively. Much better to think you're coming back 10 points down than 14, especially with the challenges this team has. By the way, that injury to Demario Davis, he will return next week. Flat pass, Jawan Johnson, and that's going to be 4 yards as Jawan Johnson gets that in his receiver right column, helping out Rattlers' cause, 2nd and 6. Back to pass, short, goes right back to Jawan. He's got another one. 1st down yardage as Rattler, another completion on his right card. Folks, his only completions on his right column short pass are 9, 11, and 12. And I think he said it 4 or 5 times. He's done a very nice job. Saints from their 40 now, inside handoff. Kamara plows ahead, and he's got 6. Nice gain in his wrong column, 2nd and 4. Kamara out. Jordan Mims, the backup tailback, in now. Back to pass, looking short. This goes to Foster Moreau, and it's going to be picked off. Picked off by the Packers. A nice double team into the double team column. That one went. Great call, Scott Mueller, as he successfully doubled on Foster Moreau, a backup tight end. Well timed. Packers turn it over. Both teams now with 2 turnovers. Packers begin at their own 38. They're already up by 10 points. 9 minutes remains in this game. Here's a quick slant. Going to tight end Tucker Kraft. That's going to be a pickup of 8. 6 on the wide die. Capitalizing in the 0-man column. 2nd and 2. 2 tight ends. Off tackle handoff. Josh Jacobs, and he's got a 1st down and a pickup of 7. The problem for the Saints is that Jacobs is killing the yardage, whether he gets the offensive white die or the defensive white die. Right back to him off tackle, and another 5-yard pickup. And that 5 yards came on the defensive card again, beating the tackle with a 6 on the white die. 2nd and 5, back to pass. Love, looking pass. Defense called pass. Credit Dan Sir on that one. Flat pass, though. Too much pressure. We're in the flat now to Josh Jacobs. And that's a nice yak opportunity set up from his quarterback, Love. Jacobs with a good roll, catch and run, 1st down yardage, inside the 25, down to the 24. Pickup of 18 on the play. 1st and 10 right there. Off tackle run, Jacobs, and he pops that short gain on the defensive card again, all the way down to the 10-yard line. Packers, 1st and goal. 6 minutes remain in this game. Saints' only chance now is going to be to keep them out of the end zone here. Short yardage defense, off tackle, Jacobs, and he plows ahead for 5. 6 on the white die, beating a linebacker again. 2nd and goal, full house. Saints crash run, back to pass, short, going to Tucker Kraft, caught, touchdown, Packers! As they have now put this one probably in the win column. They're now up by 17 points. There is a penalty on the extra point. It'll be assessed on the kickoff. But the Packers now are up 27-10. As this team that has not lost since week 1 is about to win another. And improved to 14-1. Back to pass. Spencer Rattler looking deep, but forced to dump it off, and it's incomplete. Injury on the play for the Saints, of course. It's Jawan Johnson, the tight end, because they don't yet have enough offensive people out in this game. 7 total players out right now. Jawan Johnson will be available should this game go to overtime. Flat pass, and Austin's got a 7-yard reception. 5th catch for him. And the Saints are 3rd and 3 at their own 37. Flat pass, 2-man in zone, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Saints at their own 37. Less than 4 minutes left in the game. They're down by 17. Nothing to lose. Coach Sir going to go for it. And this pitch out goes to Kamara, and it goes to the defensive card where an excellent run defense on dice of 8 turn up a +1 result and a turnover on downs. So the Packers are about to put this one away. Here's an inside handoff on the right column. Chris Brooks goes for 7. A third string running back gets +7 on linebuck right. That's the kind of second half it's been for the Packers here. 10-10 tie game at halftime has been opened up here in the second half by Green Bay with 17 unanswered. And here's Chris Brooks taking his turn on that 7 result on the defensive card. A 17-yard short gain for him. Packers getting ready to lay it on. Short yardage defense and a 6-yard run. Yeah, there's just right now nothing the Saints can do to stop this run game. Short yardage is still just being shredded by the Packers run. Third and 1, Packers at the 5. Two-yard run, and it's first and goal at the 3. We're down to 1 minute 15 left in this game. Clock keeps running. We're down to 30 seconds. So this is going to be the last snap probably. Quarterback takes a knee. And, folks, that's going to do it. Your final from Green Bay in 49 minutes flat. The Green Bay Packers with a 17-point run in the second half. Too much for the Saints. 27-10. Packers retain their conference lead with a record of 14-1. The Saints will fall to 12-3. They're still a playoff team, obviously. But this will eliminate them, I think, from the top seed. I don't think they can get the top seed. 2 games left. They can only tie the Packers. Packers already beat the Eagles. So, yeah, I'd say that eliminates the Saints on the 1 seed, but they're still in great shape for the playoffs. Coach is having a little conversation here about the end of this game. Let's take a look. We're 10 minutes away from broadcast time on a couple more games. So we've got a little time here. Wow. It was a bigger domination of this game than I thought. Coach Dan Sir and the Saints did a good job of just kind of hanging on in this one. The Green Bay Packers outgained them 441 to 199. That's quite a big difference. Green Bay Packers had 252 yards rushing in this game. Josh Jacobs, 24 carries, 188, and 30-plus yards apiece for Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks. Each quarterback added a 1-yard run as well. Malik Willis and Jordan Love. Just a total domination that the Saints, with a couple early turnovers, were kind of able to hang in this game. But the Packers too strong for the Saints, and quite frankly, too strong for everybody in the league so far that's come across them, with the exception of back in week 1 when they fell to the Eagles. Let's take a look and see if our coaches are possibly joining. Sometimes I can tell by reading their comments. I should take a look. Great game. Coaches are wishing each other good luck. They know they may meet again with the kind of records they're sporting right now. Coming up here at the top of the hour, we've got a couple of AFC divisional battles. All 4 teams are playoff contenders. Denver Broncos travel west to face the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Baltimore Ravens will play host to the AFC top seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Taking a look now at the standings. Obviously, we're going to need to update this a little bit. I think I have it current other than today's earlier game with Panthers and Cards. Let's see here. So, with this game, the Packers are going to improve to 14-1. And the Saints will fall to 12-3. All right, the coaches have exited their game. We'll probably go ahead and stick around here regardless of whether we get one of these coaches coming in for an interview. Look at who we got here. In fact, we have one of the coaches just popped in getting ready for our next segment. Welcome, Anthony Tangora, to the broadcast. Mr. Tangora, welcome. How are you tonight?
Hey, Tim. Thanks for broadcasting. I was listening there and thought you might need a little help to get through the 8 minutes here.
Yeah, never any problem with that. You fire away because I'm sure you've been thinking about that.
Well, I mean, what's at stake here in the as far as the Chiefs-Broncos are concerned, what's at stake so looking at those two teams in particular, what's at stake here if the Broncos win or if the Chargers win the AFC West race?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So the Broncos are currently in the division lead at 10-4, mostly because the Chiefs just lost yesterday to the Houston Texans. So the Chiefs are a half game behind at 10-5. But the Chiefs did beat the Broncos earlier in the year and play the Broncos on the season finale. So as long as the Chiefs stay within a game of the Broncos, beat them in the season finale, they can still win the division. That's where they're at. Obviously, then that's where your team comes in at 8-6. Just a game and a half behind my team and 2 games behind the Broncos. So very much alive as you head into a critical game here in about 5 minutes with Denver. What's going on with that one? You ready to
go? Yeah. I mean, it's the toughest.
Have you guys played already? You guys played.
Yeah,
who won the first one? Denver beat you in the first game, right?
Yeah, Jaleel McLaughlin went end running.
That sounds right. I remember that.
All the way to, he was like, 10 for 120 or something like that. I mean, it was silly. You could look it up, short gain-a-thon. But it's not the best matchup either way. I mean, that's one way Denver can win. The other way Denver can win is they got a good pass rush, and the Chargers famously don't have a very strong offensive line and kind of rely on short pass and long pass. So, that's difficult for the Chargers to get points against Denver. So,
sure,
gonna have to find a way. I mean, there's ways out there. Looks like David's ready to start. It's worth noting, and I guess you'll note this, that I'm on the road here at work in Baltimore, and I forgot my charger at home.
So yeah, I should have mentioned that. I probably was going to mention. I planned on mentioning it at the top of this second half of the broadcast here, but I'm glad you reminded me. Go ahead and kind of tell us what's going on with that real quick.
So I've got my other laptop, which isn't as usual. It's not the right charger for it, but it fits, right? So you sort of get that error message. Oh, you got the wrong charger in, but it gives you the charging, icon like it's charging, but it's kind of not. So we'll see if we can get through this game.
Hopefully you can, but we'll all know what happened if all of a sudden you go dark on us.
Correct.
Well, good luck in your game tonight with the Broncos, and hopefully we'll see you after the game.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll get it started here in just a minute. Will not be long.
All right, sounds good. That was Anthony Tangora with a little pre-interview just ahead of his game with the Broncos, one of our 2 divisional matchups here for the second half tonight. The first of those 2 games has already kicked off. You're looking at it here live in Baltimore. Steelers and Ravens. The Steelers are 12-2. No, I'm sorry. The Steelers are 11-3 on the year. They've already clinched a playoff spot. They have not clinched their division. Only the Cincinnati Bengals can catch them, but everything has to break right for the Bengals. The Steelers are the probable division winner and the current leader in the conference for the top seed. The Baltimore Ravens are 6-8, and they face elimination. They can't win the division. They're trying to sneak out a wild card, and they need to win out and get a lot of help. So the Ravens' quest begins by needing to run through the Steelers, and they're going to try to do that tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers are coached by Peter Shibley, and the Baltimore Ravens are coached by my assistant commish, Tony Talaria. Good luck to both teams. Opening possession of the game, the Steelers have the ball, and they are about to cross midfield, back to pass, short, but an offsides penalty against the defense. And indeed, that 5 yards will march the Steelers offensively across midfield, now 1st and 5 at the 48 of Baltimore. Brandon Stevens is injured for the Ravens, and Joey Porter Jr. is out of this game for the Steelers. 2 tight end set for Pittsburgh. Quarterback Justin Fields is out of the pistol. And here's a flat pass. This goes to the tight end Freiermuth. Muth has got the catch and run, beats the linebacker, and he's got 17 yards. Brought down to the 31-yard line of Baltimore. So the Steelers quickly into field goal range here on the opening drive of this game. 2 tight end set. Najee Harris, the tailback. Back to pass, looking short, and it's caught. Fields hits Van Jefferson for 12. Pass interference, though, and the call is against the offense. The rare offensive PI backs up the Steelers, and it's 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 41-yard line. Interestingly, Justin Fields is carded at 161 attempts. Russell Wilson at 336. I'm not saying he should be playing Russell Wilson. I'm just saying it's curious when there's no injury. I'm looking at the cards and just kind of considering that. Haven't had a chance to review. 2 tight end set. Ravens are in a nickel. And here's an end run to Justin Fields and nothing doing as the Baltimore run defense is appearing stout. Indeed, they're rated excellent. That was 0 linebackers on end run, 6, 7, and 8. The defensive card reads 0, -1, 0. I mean, it is tough to run against these Ravens. Holy mackerel, I'm looking at these results. I'd forgotten. It's been a while. Chiefs did play them earlier this year. So 2nd and 20 now. What did we get on that? Did we lose yards? Here's a 5-yard pass, and that's going to be 3rd and 15 Steelers at the 36 of Baltimore. From right there, place kicker Chris Boswell. 36 is a 2 through 9 and 12. Variable risk is pretty minimal as his range goes out to the 40. So just don't lose any more yards. You got a pretty good shot at putting points on the board. Deep 3-2-6 dime here from the Ravens. They show blitz. Safety's up. 3 wide receivers and a halfback. Fields in the pistol formation with Najee Harris beside him. Still waiting on the offensive play call here. About ready to go over and get that other game going. Back to pass. And here comes the pressure and brought down on a sack. The safety got through. Kyle Hamilton, loss of 5. And from the 41 now, Baltimore, it's just like I said, now that sack comes, you're a yard out of your extended range, and they have to punt. Coffin corner and just into the end zone. Ravens will get it out at their 20. So a nice defensive stand by Baltimore. A penalty and a sack didn't hurt that at all. First possession for the Steelers, 9 plays, 34 yards, 3 first downs, but in the final analysis, they punt. Let's go ahead and jump over here and get this other game going. Looks like they're already on their second game number, so we'll have to see how that goes, right? Lamar Jackson, a 9-yard run for the Ravens. Baltimore a 2nd and 1. They'll bring out 3 running backs and 2 tight ends, essentially a full house set. Lamar in a pistol. Steelers operate out of a 3-4. Pretty traditional for that team. Boy, that 9 yards from Lamar Jackson a second ago was linebuck wrong, snake eyes. Short pass, and he's got Mark Andrews. First down Ravens now out to their 43. Let's check into the AFC West here. Opening possession of the game. The Chargers have the ball. 2nd and 8 at their own 42. The Chargers are coached by Anthony Tangora, who just did a pre-interview with us, for those who were here for that. And the Denver Broncos are coached by David Kukofka. Broncos are 10 and 4. Chargers are 8 and 6. Broncos currently lead the division by a half game over the Chiefs, who are situated between these two teams. 3 wide receivers split out for the Chargers. Here's a flat pass. Right side to Lab McConkey. Nothing doing. 1-man column for the Broncos. Good enough to make the stop. 3rd and 8. Denver Broncos defensively rated good to excellent against the run and good against the pass. Not surprising, I would imagine. Chargers split out 3 wide receivers. No running back. They've got another tight end essentially in the backfield. I believe that's Matlock, right? He's listed as a fullback. No rush attempts. Safety's showing blitz again for the Broncos. Here's a flat pass. Josh Palmer, 2-man in zone and incomplete, as it did indeed go to the defensive card. The Chargers will have to punt from their 42-yard line. And J.K. Scott with a punt all the way back toward the 2, and they'll probably just let that bounce. And it does indeed roll into the end zone. So the Chargers a quick 3 and out. Just 2 net yards. They punt, and now we get the Broncos opening possession of this game. Denver Broncos have 2 injuries in this game. Adam Troutman, tight end, and Nate Adkins. Blocking back set, Javonte Williams is your tailback. Nate Adkins is a blocking back, essentially. Here's a look-in pass, empty zone. This is going to Devon Vele, and it's going to be a 10-yard pickup on the wrong column for Nix. So the first down of the game is a pass to Devon Vele. Broncos out to the 30. 3 wide receivers on the field. Nickel here from the Chargers. And we got a flat pass. Marvin Mims. He's got a good yak rating, so you're going to see him targeted a lot in this game. There's a yak rating. Opportunity for him to capitalize on that, and it's a good pickup. First down, pickup of 13 yards for Marvin Mims. Mims has an A-rated yak carded with 39 catches. Broncos now out to the 43-yard line. 2 plays, 2 first downs. Both teams in the same formation here. Nick's back to pass. He's looking deep, but forced to scramble with it, and he's going to get brought down. A short gain there. Picked up 3. So 2nd down and 7. He's got a trio of results in that must-run column that are over 20 yards near the top, but of course missed those. 3 wide receivers split out, 1 halfback. Broncos show blitz from their safety again, so they're very active with Alohi Gilman. I said Broncos, that's the Chargers on that safety blitz. And there's an off-tackle run, pick up a 5, so makes it a much more manageable 3rd and 2. As the Broncos just cross midfield, they're at the 49 of Los Angeles. Safety up close shows blitz again out of a 3-4. Back to pass. And Nix is looking for Cortland Sutton. The pressure forces a dump off. This is going to Pert. And it's a nice result for Nix in his right column. He gets a short gain. It's just a pickup of 5 yards, though, as that's the longest completion for Pert. Who is this person? Matt Pert is a tight end, carded for 0 catches, and he looked like it on that play. But, boy, if you're going to be that bad at professional catching, do it on 3rd and 2. He got it done. New set of downs at the Los Angeles 44. And here's an off-tackle run, Javonte Williams, and just a couple there. Gain of 2 on the play. Chargers defense not quite as stout as Denver. They are carded as average to poor against the runs and average against the pass. Gilman up close showing blitz again out of a nickel. Here's an off-tackle run. Javonte Williams. Williams goes to the defensive card and just a 2-yard gain as the Chargers had a linebacker in zone. And it's 3rd and 6. Chargers do have 1 star blitzer. It's their right outside linebacker, Tuli Tuipulotu. I'm sure I was close. 4 wide receivers are splitting out now. So full spread formation here on 3rd and 6 for Denver. Javonte Williams is the tailback. He's got a 2 pass block rating. That should be fine to help cover that 1 star rating. Safety creeps up close, showing blitz. Flat pass, Marvin Mims trying to get it with the yak again, but it goes to the defensive card. It's a catch, but only 4 yards. And the Broncos now have a 4th and 2 at the 36. From right here, it's a 2-8 field goal. But Coach Kukafa says, I'll have none of that. 3 wide receivers are on the field, 2 running backs. Burton, the fullback, is in front of Javonte Williams. Chargers in a 3-4. Nix is 4 for 4 so far. Big 4th and 2 down coming up. Still waiting on the play call here. Should be any second. And there it is. Oh, it's a bad call. Good call for the defenses. They call run. It's an end run to the quarterback. And Nix runs for a 1st down. Boy, they had Nix vulnerable in his right column, but it went to the defensive card. And the onside end couldn't make the block, but it was still a 3-yard gain. That moves the sticks. Big 4th down roll. Broncos, a new set of downs at the Chargers 33. Now 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs again. Chargers in a nickel. Update from Baltimore. The Steelers have a field goal. 5:06 left first quarter. They're up 3-0. Here's a 1st down screen. This goes to Javonte Williams out of the backfield. And Williams is going to have a catch, but just 2 yards, but they're going to call it a dead ball foul. We've got a penalty. And back up the offense 5 yards. 1st and 15. At the Chargers 38. There's an off-tackle handoff. Javonte Williams and brought down quickly on the play. Poona Ford gets him. Williams in his wrong column found that 5 roll we don't like to get for a running back. 2nd and 15. Broncos won the matchup with the Chargers earlier this year, trying to go for the sweep here. 2nd and 15. Back to pass. Nix throws short. Cortland Sutton's got the catch, and that's enough for a 1st down. The penalty on the play is against the defense, and they'll decline that. Bo Nix in his wrong column, catching the defense-looking run, got a plus 16. Plus 16. Boy, he's got a great short pass card. I'll take it. 1st and 10 now at the Chargers 22. 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Back to pass again. Nix going deep again. Going to an empty zone. Cortland Sutton, and no good, incomplete. Got the 0-man column on the defensive card, but actually rolled the interception split roll. Almost got the pick. 2 through 5 pick, rolls a 6. So 2nd and 10 Broncos. Back-to-back deep balls to Sutton. Flat pass Marvin Mims on wrong. Receiver opportunity. Mims the catch. Big play down inside the 10 and brought down at the 5. Gain of 17 for Mims. No yak needed. Got that in his receiver wrong column. Boy, Mims is a weapon. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Bo Nix 6 of 7 to start this game. Chargers strong safety Derwin James, his 4th tackle already halfway through the 1st quarter on that last play. 1st and goal to 5, back to pass. Nix looks short, going to have to run with it though, and he's going to go backwards. Sacked by the safety Aloy Gilman, a loss of 4 yards on a rare sack in the must-run column. Must run, he got a double 6s, and that's a -4. So we already talked about the 3 results at a plus 20 or more, but he got double 6s there. 2nd and goal at the 9 for the Broncos. And here comes the 16th play of the Broncos drive. Jaleel McLaughlin is in at tailback. He was referenced in our earlier interview with Coach Tangora of the Chargers. Nix back to pass, all out blitz. He avoids it, short, and it is caught. Touchdown! Nix to Devon Vele. A 9-yard touchdown strike. And the Broncos come out fast and hard against the Chargers in this game, forcing a 3-and-out on the Chargers to start the game with a good defensive showing. And then the Chargers, after they punt, give the ball to a Broncos offense that goes 16 plays, 80 yards, 7 first downs, and a touchdown strike from Nix to Vele, 7-0 Broncos. Chargers now begin their second drive at the 30 off tackle and just a couple yards to J.K. Dobbins. Let's check back in Baltimore. Steelers still up 3-0. 2:24 left first quarter, 3rd and 3. Steelers with a hitch, and that's going to be incomplete. Justin Fields tried to hit. George Pickens couldn't do it, and the Steelers will punt from their 16. Corliss Waitman, a 47-yard boot, all the way back to the Baltimore 37, and a short return there from Deontay Hasty. And the Ravens will begin at their own 42. Ravens have punted on each of their last 2 possessions. So the Steelers' defense so far has done really well. Of course, it's still just a 3-0 game. Blocking back set. Steelers guessing run, but Lamar back to pass. He looks short. Zay Flowers is his target. Catch, first down across midfield, and brought down at the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh. So 1st and 10 now. Ravens come out in a full run set. 3 running backs. And 2 tight ends. Lamar and a pistol. Inside run draw to Justice Hill. That goes to the defensive card and nothing doing. Nose tackle makes the stop. Good enough for that 5 on the white die. Keanu Benton makes that stop. Interesting call to go to a draw from like a full house on a 1st and 10. Feels like you're inviting a run call. 2 tight end offense now. Lamar stays in the pistol. He'll be there most of the day. Here's an off-tackle draw. Derrick Henry on 2nd and 10, and he's going to lose a yard. That went to the keyed column. Wipe that play away as the offense is penalized 5 yards. Dead ball foul, 2nd and 15, back at midfield. Chargers' second drive stalled after 1 first down and 19 yards. The Broncos have the ball back again. Up 7-0. 2 tight end offense here for the Ravens. Lamar back to pass. He looks short. Going to Isaiah Likely. Nice catch and run for 15. And that's going to move the sticks. First down at the Pittsburgh 35. That was a defender, Xer 15. And Isaiah Likely beat Deshaun Elliott on that play. Full house formation. So Ravens showing a propensity for running full house on 1st down. They sure have the weapons to do it. And, you know, they got a 6-rated run blocker up the middle with the center, but all the other 4 run blockers are 4s. Putting all those up to 5s, I get it. Which makes me wonder about the Pittsburgh run defense. Pittsburgh is rated excellent against the run. Here's an inside run draw. Derrick Henry, and he's ahead for just 5. He did get that in his wrong column. Got the Steelers looking pass. T.J. Watt is first tackle, 2nd and 5. Steelers, as we were alluding to, excellent rating against the pass, average to good against, excellent against the run, and average to good against the pass. Two tight ends set here. We're now in the 2nd quarter. Steelers still leading this game in Baltimore 3-0. The Ravens are in field goal range here on 2nd and 5. Lamar back to pass. He looks short and no good. He was going for his tight end, Mark Andrews. Found an empty spot in his right column. It's 3rd and 5. Lamar has one of those quarterback cards that you kind of don't know if you want to put it in his right column or not. He does have those 3 must runs, although I believe Lamar doesn't have quite as good a must run as he has in years past. We'll check in a little bit here as the game goes on, but we've got a big 3rd and 5 coming up right now for Lamar. At the 30, here's an inside draw. Justice Hill going to try to get it on the ground, and Hill goes to his own card, and a good result, but the containment stops him. Got a +7 result, but the containment leaves him 3 yards shy. It's 4th and 3 at the Pittsburgh 28. Justin Tucker from right there, just a 2 through 7 and 12. You want that more automatic field goal, you got to get down to the 22. So here it comes, 2 through 7 and 12. Justin Tucker to tie this game from 45 yards. That kick is no good as it's off to the right. And the Steelers make a defensive stand. They'll take over at their own 35. Still up 3-0, 13:48 to go, second quarter. We head back out west as we've just hit the second quarter in Los Angeles. The Broncos are up 10-0 as Will Lutz just hit a field goal for the Broncos. It was a 49-yard field goal. So the Chargers begin at their own 30, trailing by 10, first play of the second quarter. Justin Herbert in a shotgun. No running back on the field. In the backfield beside him is Stone Smart, a receiving tight end. Look-in pass. This goes to Josh Palmer. Linebacker stayed home, and it's incomplete. Broncos in their one-man column. Getting it done, 2nd and 10. Same formation again for the Chargers. 3 wide receivers. Herbert in the shotgun. Back to pass. Herbert. He looks short. Receiver double teamed by a linebacker trying to hit McConkey, so he's going to dump it off instead. We're in the flat down. This goes to Stone Smart. And Smart gets a receiver result. Good catch and run and a pickup of 10 yards. I believe I just told you Smart's a receiving tight end. Chargers, new set of downs out to their 40. Just their second first down of the game. Broncos have 10. And again, no running back here for the Chargers. Stone Smart in the backfield. Here's a quick out pass. Will Dissly, and it's a nice catch. And the tight end has 7 yards. Chargers now out near midfield. 2nd and 3 at their own 47. Broncos are good to excellent against the runs, like I said, but it's not like the Ravens card. I'm sorry, the Broncos, yeah. But it's not as good as the Ravens defensive cards. You can get some runs here. But right now, the Chargers content to go without a running back at all. Back to pass, looking deep. Empty zone, but he's forced to dump it off. And we're in the flats now. Receiver opportunity. And it's going to be a 6-yard completion for a first down. Quentin Johnson. Chargers into Denver territory for the first time today. Back to pass Herbert. He goes right back to Stone Smart, but pressure, and he's dumping it off, and we're right back to Quentin Johnson in the flat again. And Herbert gets a receiver result that results in 6 yards. Quentin Johnson on right. I feel like I just had this play a second ago. Yes, Johnson, 2 catches, 12 yards, consecutive plays, identical rolls. 2nd and 4. Here's a quick slant over the middle of the tight end, Disley, and he's going to be not able to bring it in, incomplete. Disley had a receiver chance and missed it. 3rd and 4 for the Chargers. They're at the 41-yard line. Range for the kicker goes out to the 42 at a 2-9. So careful about losing any more yards here. You're down 10-0. A field goal would help. Gus Edwards in the game. They've got a running back in a blocking back set. So at least signaling that they might want to run it. Broncos stay in a 3-4. All-out blitz. It's a quick slant to an empty zone and a nice catch and run. First down for Will Disley. Good instincts by the offensive coach there, Tangora. He took advantage of an all-out blitz by throwing it right behind him. So Chargers now from the 32-yard line at Denver. And once again, no running backs on the field. 3 wide receivers with essentially a tight end back in the backfield with Herbert. Broncos in a nickel. Back to pass. Herbert looks deep. Empty zone. He's going for Quentin Johnson. Wants the defensive card. The white die is the key, but it goes to the offensive card, and Herbert is no good, incomplete, as the result splits between his long gain and plus 27. It's 2nd and 10. And the news gets worse for Los Angeles as an injury to Joe Alt. He'll miss the remainder of the first half, which equates to the next 12 minutes. Joe Alt, right tackle, 5 run block, 5 pass block. 2 tight end set here for the Chargers on 2nd and 10. Safety up close, showing blitz for the Broncos here. Flat pass, Stone smart. He's got the catch and a nice pickup of 7. So that'll make it a much more manageable 3rd and 3 at the Denver 25. The backup tackle isn't too bad on pass blocking. Trey Pipkins can pass block a 4. So he's not quite as good as the injured Joe Alt, but he can stand up and kind of keep an eye on Zach Allen fairly well there defensively. 3rd and 3 Chargers. Here's an off-tackle draw. Defense guessing pass. Gus Edwards going to try to get it on the ground. Edwards to the defensive card. He goes and cannot do it. Blocking back was the result, and nothing there for him. So 1-yard pickup, and it's 4th and 2 Chargers at the 24. He's still thinking about it, clearly. Anthony's pretty aggressive, but yeah, he's going to take the kick here. You're down 10. Got to get it back to a 1-score game. 41-yard field goal attempt, Cameron Dicker. 2 through 10, and he drills it. And with 11:06 remaining in the second quarter, Chargers get on the board with a field goal. Broncos are winning 10-3. Touchback Broncos will begin at their 30, 10:48 to go in this first half. Let's head on back to Baltimore and see what's going on there. Still 3-0 Steelers. There's a pitch out to Najee Harris and a pickup of 6 for Pittsburgh. As they've just crossed midfield, they're now 2nd and 4 at the Baltimore 47-yard line. Steelers have outgained Baltimore 120-66 in this game. 4 first downs for Pittsburgh is all, 3 for Baltimore. Baltimore is 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. They're struggling offensively with just 66 yards. The good news is Coach Tulare and the Ravens are only down by 3 points. 3-0. 9 minutes left in the first half. Here's an off-tackle run on 2nd and 4 and a loss of 3. There was a linebacker in the zone, and I already told you how good that Ravens defense is. You put a linebacker into the equation, and you won't be going anywhere. So 3rd and 7 now for the Steelers at the 50. And Steelers coach Shibley splits out 3 wide receivers now. Russell Wilson is the quarterback. Fields is out. He was in earlier, but Russell Wilson is in now. I assume that wasn't an injury. I suspected they might bring him in later. Indeed, no injury. Back to pass. Wilson forced to scramble, must run, close to the first down, but brought down a yard short. And it's decision time for the Steelers. 4th and 1 at the Baltimore 44, and they're going for it. Peter Shibley, 2 tight end set. Only tailback is Najee Harris. He's beside Russell Wilson, who's going to start from the shotgun. 2 tight end set, 3-4 defense here from the Ravens. I know it's only 1 yard for a first down, but that Ravens defense is deadly. And if you're passing to the flats, you're staring at 4 linebackers, even if they don't bring up a safety. But I get it. Even though the Ravens are struggling offensively, they are so dangerous offensively. You hate to punt it back to him. And they're not going to. So let's see what he does. Back to pass. Looking short. This goes to George Pickens and a nice double team there. Coach Tony Talaria. And that breaks it up. Incomplete. Russell Wilson, if that was on right, would have had a must run. And on a must run, he probably gets that first down. I'm not sure if the game crashed here. I see the dice result. I've called what's happened, but the game doesn't seem to be advancing yet. We'll come back in a second since we don't know, and I may have to restart that game. Broncos still up 10-3, and Javonte Williams picks up a short gain on an off tackle, gain of 14 for the Broncos. And they're down to the Vegas 31-yard line. So the Broncos on the move again, up by 7. 3 wide receivers on the field for Bo Nix. Nickel blitz here from the Chargers. Here's a pitch out right side. This is going to Audric Estime, and that's going to be a big loss. 6-yard loss for Estime. Khalil Mack got him way back there. Credit to Chargers coach Tangora calling run on that one. 2nd down and 16. Now from the Chargers, 37. Yeah, that Baltimore game appears to be stuck. So let's close that one, shall we? Look in pass. This is going to Marvin Mims. He's got that great yak rating, but here's a receiver result, catch, run, and another big gainer of 15. As that went to the wrong column for Mims. His 5th catch for 62 yards. Oh, Nix is 12 of 15 for 150. 3rd and 1, though, as he needed 16 on that 2nd and 16. Back to pass, looking short, going to Cortland Sutton, and no good, broken up, incomplete. Good call, Coach Tangora, free safety doubling on Sutton on a 3rd and 1. And that forces a 4th and 1. So that excellent, gutsy call from Coach Tangora, all it buys you is an opportunity to stop him here on 4th down. 4th and 1, 2 tight end set. Back to pass again. Chargers guest pass right back to Cortland Sutton. Outside linebackers are blitzing. He avoids the blitz, short, and no good, incomplete. And the Chargers turn him over on downs. Big turnover there for the Chargers. Huge play on 3rd and 1. Guessing right that they're going to pass and doubling on the receiver correctly to get you to 4th and 1. and then a calling pass again for an incompletion and a turnover on downs to keep it a 7-point lead for the Broncos. Great turn of events for the Los Angeles Chargers. They take over now at their 22. 6:36 remains before halftime. Off tackle run, this goes to J.K. Dobbins, and just a couple yards there, onside end, could not make the block. Looks like Pitt and Baltimore do have a new game number for us. So let's grab that. All right, we're live again in Baltimore. Off tackle, Jalen Warren, and he's going nowhere. 2nd and 10. They're at the Baltimore 39. Steelers are in field goal range. They're already up 3-0. Their field goal range extends out to the 40, so they're barely in, but 2 through 9 and 12 with variable risk. Two tight ends set here for Coach Shibley and his Steelers. Najee Harris, your tailback. Back to pass, looking short and no good. Russell Wilson trying to connect with Van Jefferson, couldn't find it on his card, and it's 3rd and 10 for the Steelers. They're again on the fringe of that field goal range. Checking back in Los Angeles now, Chargers and Broncos. 1st and 10 at the 46. Broncos have the ball back across midfield. Here's a flat pass and a loss of 3 yards, actually incomplete as they went over the middle. 2nd down and 10. So both of these games coming down toward halftime now. And defensive struggles, really. Broncos up on the Chargers 10-3. Steelers still up on the Ravens 3-0. Inside handoff, Najee Harris. He beats the linebacker, but only good for 5 yards. So it's 4th and 5 now for the Steelers at the Baltimore 34-yard line. And out comes the kicker, Chris Boswell. That kick is up, and it is just inside the upright. 51-yard field goal is up and good. 2 through 9 and 12, he rolled that 9. So the Steelers open up a 6-0 lead now on the Ravens. 5:42 to go first half. And after a touchback, Baltimore will begin at their own 30. Almost halftime, the Ravens still sitting on just 66 yards of offense. Less than 200 yards total offense between these two teams so far. First down pass, Jackson's got Isaiah Likely, and Likely's got a first down catch out to the 42 of Baltimore. Broncos on the move again, back in the AFC game, down to the Chargers 30. Justice Hill now the tailback in a 2 tight end set for the Ravens. Here's a screen left side, empty zone. Left it open, and it goes to the defensive card. Nice catch and run. There's a penalty. There's a 23-yard gain, and the penalty is against the Steelers. So that'll be declined by Coach Talaria. And the Ravens may have their deepest penetration so far at the Pittsburgh 35. Actually, that's not true. They have been inside because they already missed a field goal, as I recall. Two tight end set. Justice Hill stays in the game for the Ravens. Neither team has made it to the opposing red zone in this game. Back to pass Lamar, looks short, and it's incomplete. Lamar trying to hit Zay Flowers, got the interception split roll on Denver's defensive card at 2nd and 10. And let's check in Los Angeles, where the Chargers got the ball back here somehow. 1st and 10, Chargers at their own 27, just outside of the 2-minute warning. Looks like it might have just been a turnover on downs. Yes, indeed, 4th and 1. Broncos went for it. A sneak to Nix, and he couldn't get it. So another big stop for the Chargers defense. As we reach the 2-minute warning in Los Angeles, Chargers still trail 10-3. They've got the ball 2nd and 10 at the 27. 3 wide receivers are out there. 2 running backs set. It's Dobbins at tailback. Dobbins carded for 195 carries. Broncos safety, P.J. Locke up close, showing blitz. Here's an off-tackle run. Dobbins on his card. He's going to pick up 5, but a holding penalty against the Chargers, and that'll back him up. Tough break for the Chargers offense, 2nd and 20. Broncos still show blitz with the safety out of a nickel. Here's a flat pass, right side. This goes to Lab McConkey, and nothing doing there. Herbert couldn't get him in his right column. Justin Herbert just 7 of 16 for 46 yards in this game. Conversely, Bo Nix, 13 of 19 for 160. 3rd and 20 now for the Chargers at their 17. A deep 3-2-6 dime here from the Broncos, no surprise. And let's check back in at Baltimore, where the Ravens have a 4th and 10 at the Pittsburgh 35. It looks like they're going to go for a 52-yard field goal. Justin Tucker, it's just a 2-7, and that kick is good. He got that one. And that'll cut the lead in half. 3:54 remaining in the first half. Pittsburgh 6, Baltimore 3. Steelers, after a touchback, will take over at their own 30. So Ravens are on the board now. Heading back to Los Angeles. There's an off tackle to J.K. Dobbins and a good run. Picked up 19 yards on a short gain chart roll. Ironically, he needed 20. It's 4th and 1. Chargers at their own 36. 1:15 to go before half. Chargers trail 10-3. Are they going to go for it at their own 36? Broncos good to excellent against the run. Man, I think you got to punt it. And just be grateful that you're still down by only 7 with a couple of stops deep in your territory. That's just me. I can totally justify going for it. And Anthony's going to do just that. Here comes the offense. 2 tight end offense. The running back alone in the backfield is Gus Edwards. The bookends are Stone Smart and Will Dissly. 3-4 defense here from the Broncos. High leverage moment here just before halftime. 3 of the 4 linebackers out there for the Broncos do have a 0 rating, but of course he can use those guys and maybe even a safety and double up some flats. They've got a lot of pressure if you try to throw short. Ooh, off tackle draw, defense guess pass, good call. And nothing doing. The defense makes the stop. A perfect call there for Coach Tangora of the Chargers. The only linebacker in zone was up the middle, the linebacker. He went off tackle draw into a pass defense, went to the defensive card, got the defensive nose tackle, and dropped the 4 that was needed for the nose tackle, DJ Nose, to get the stop. Turnover on downs. And with 1:07 to go before halftime, Broncos take over at the Chargers 36. 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Los Angeles in a nickel blitz. Here's a screen pass, left side to the tailback. Williams has the catch. Good yardage. Down the sideline he goes toward the goal line and pushed out of bounds at the 2. Javonte Williams got a snake eyes roll and on flat pass right on his card picks up 34. And it is 1st and goal Broncos at the 2-yard line. I'm sorry. Big time clutch roll there for Denver. 1st and goal from the 2. They've got a full house set. 3-4 blitz here from Los Angeles. Off tackle left side, Javonte Williams, and that's a touchdown. Javonte Williams with a 2-yard touchdown dive, and the Broncos extend to a 2-score lead just before halftime. Extra point, Will Lutz is up and good. And with 45 seconds remaining before halftime, Broncos on the road in Los Angeles. They're up on the Chargers 17-3. Chargers, after a touchback, begin at their 30. 45 seconds left, 2 timeouts. Steelers offense has just crossed midfield in Baltimore at the 2-minute warning. They're still up 6-3. First down run, off tackle draw. J.K. Dobbins goes to the defensive card, and Dobbins drops a good pair of dice, and that's a short gain. Dobbins again, a 19-yard run up near midfield, and that's to the 49-yard line. Chargers take their second time out of the first half, and it stops the clock with 37 seconds. One timeout remaining for the Bolts. 3 wide receivers are out there. Nickel from the Broncos. Flat pass to the empty zone. The only zone that was empty. This goes to Josh Palmer. Nice catch and run. First down, 10-yard pickup, but he does not get out of bounds. And the Chargers are probably going to have to burn their final timeout. They do not. They run hurry up. 15 seconds left in the first half. Chargers from the 41-yard line of Denver. They still have 1 timeout. From right here, it's a 2-9 field goal with variable risk. 3 wide receivers are on the field. Nickel from the defense. I'm wondering if he might throw long here, and then if he fails on the next down with a timeout in his pocket, maybe try to get closer into field goal range for a little variable range. I don't know. We'll see. But I think you have time to sneak in a long pass here. I wonder if he might do it. Free safety's rated 0. But we've got a flat pass. This goes to Josh Palmer. He is doubled by a linebacker. Empty zone. So there's an opportunity for a big gain here. Goes to the quarterback card. Short gain. Short gain and a pickup of 14 yards. And he does not get out of bounds, though. Brought down at the 27-yard line by Pat Surtain. And you're going to have to spike it for 1 second left or take your last time out. And, of course, I'm wrong because somehow there's 8 seconds left. Here comes the kick. He called timeout. That's why. So we've got a field goal kick at the 8-second mark from 44 yards. Cameron Dicker is up, and he's good. 2 through 10. He drills it. And with just 1 second left in the first half, Chargers pick up another field goal. They still trail 17-6. And looks like the Steelers picked up another field goal. 60 seconds left before halftime in this AFC North battle. And the Steelers are up on the Ravens now 9-3. Ravens have the ball, beginning their drive at the 36-yard line. In run to Lamar Jackson. Defense calls run, and it's actually going to be a gain of 5 yards. He does not get out of bounds. White Dye beating a linebacker, DeMonte KZ, to get that gain. And we're at halftime in Los Angeles. Broncos up at half, 17-6 on the Chargers. Denver's outgained them 239-132, 16 first downs to 7. Turnover-free football. The Chargers have their work cut out for them in the second half. Looks like they're going to take 5 minutes there. So we're back here to Baltimore. 2nd and 5 at the Baltimore 41. Back to pass Lamar. Looking short, and it's caught. That's going to be an 11-yard pickup. And receiver Justice Hill got out of bounds as well to stop the clock. There is a penalty, however. It's against the defense, so they should decline that one. And they do. 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 48 now for the Ravens. Field goal range, Justin Tucker begins at the 39. So another 9 yards away, but just at a 2 through 7. If you want to get to a 2 to 10, you got to get down to that 22-yard line. Full house formation here from the Ravens, so they're certainly not signaling an aggressive posture. Steelers in a 3-4. Steelers guess run. Here's a flat pass. This goes to Justice Hill. And Lamar Jackson with a really nice yak setup to Justice Hill. Big gainer. 1st down and more. Down near the 30, brought down to the 29. He does not get out of bounds, but the Ravens do have 3 timeouts. Be a good time to use one here, and they do. That stops the clock with 22 seconds remaining. From the 29 of Pittsburgh, we've just added the double sixes to that field goal attempt. 2 through 7 and 12. Again, better odds. Start at the 22. Better points. Start at the goal line. There's still 22 seconds left, 2 timeouts, so let's not count that out. Lamar out of the pistol set, blocking back formation. Henry and Ricard beside him. And back to pass Lamar. Lamar looks short. He's going to his fullback, Patrick Ricard, who makes the catch. And he gets inside the 20, brought down at looks like the 17-yard line. He did not get out of bounds, and Baltimore should use their second timeout. And they do. And that stops the clock with 15 seconds left. Ravens still have 1 timeout. 16 yards away from a touchdown that would tie it or give them the lead. Just the kind of black and blue divisional battle we'd expect from these two teams. 3 wide receivers now split out for Lamar. He's in a pistol. The halfback beside him is Derrick Henry. Second half kickoff now underway in Los Angeles, Broncos and Chargers. Here's a screen by Lamar. This is going to his tailback, Derrick Henry. And Lamar on his card is no good, incomplete. There is a penalty, however, and it was an offsides call against Pittsburgh. So that helps you more than you think. They lost the time, 8 seconds. Excuse me. 8 seconds left on the halftime. on the halftime clock or the game clock, but the Baltimore Ravens still have one timeout. So the run is not out of question here. They can stop the clock. 1st and 5 at the 11. That means they could short pass and probably get to the end zone. The timeout offers sweet comfort here for their options, but they're going to go to the field goal. They're going to kick it. I'm kind of surprised because I think with 8 seconds left, you could take another play with that timeout. Field goal 2 through 10, and Tucker nails it. And with 1 second left here in the first half, Ravens cut into the lead. It's Steelers 9 and the Ravens 6. These teams have not reached the end zone yet. Full house set for the Steelers after the touchback, and I believe we are going to get a knee and the halftime break. Taking a knee is Russell Wilson. We are indeed going to halftime in Baltimore. Good game in the AFC North. Steelers 9, Ravens 6. We head back to Los Angeles now, where the Broncos have the first possession. They're already in Los Angeles territory, 2nd and 5 at the 49. Chargers safety, Aloy Gilman, up close showing blitz out of a 3-4. Tailback is Estime, and the Broncos have 3 wide receivers split out. Here's a flat pass left side. This goes to Marvin Mims, and no good, incomplete. Mims couldn't find a result on the defensive one-man column. And it's 3rd and 5. So Broncos now, 3rd down conversion opportunity. They're 1 for 5 so far in the game on 3rd downs. Chargers are 1 for 6. And here's an in-run. Bo Nix trying to go around the edge. And Nix, good yardage, inside the 40 and down to the 34. Bo Nix picks up 15 yards on an end run. That result goes to the defensive card split roll for a 15-yard gain. The only 15-yard gain available is snake eyes or double sixes. And Nix came through, 21 yards rushing in this game now. 1st and 10 Broncos at the 34. Halfback is now Jaleel McLaughlin. He's a very dangerous runner. Especially around the end. And here it comes. Pitch out left side. Jaleel McLaughlin goes to the defensive card and gets just 3 yards. Wrapped up by Denzel Perryman, his 3rd tackle. 2nd and 7 now. Broncos up 17-6, so if the Chargers can hold them to a field goal here, it would remain within 2 touchdowns. The tailback now is Estime. And Nick's back to pass. He's looking short. This is going to Cortland Sutton and incomplete. Nix couldn't find it in his right column. 3rd and 7. Here's the chance we were just discussing for the Chargers to get out the field and force that field goal attempt. Bo Nix doing really good for Denver today. 15 of 23. 206 yards and a tutty. Full spread formation here, 4 wide receivers for the Broncos. Nickel blitz by the Chargers. Aloy Gilman up close. Tailback this time is Javonte Williams. There's a pitch out. Javonte going to try to get around the edge, and he's going to lose, actually gain a couple yards. That's it. That went to his right column. Single running back converted that to the right column with a 1 on the white die, and it's 4th and 5 Broncos at the 29 from right here. 2 through 10. Variable risk to drop it to a 2 to 8. And interestingly enough, the Broncos are going to go for it. I'm kind of surprised. But, all right, 4th and 5 at the 29. Broncos. 3 wide receivers split out. 1 halfback. So again, a run, one on the wide die, isn't going to get it done. Nickel blitz here from the Chargers. They'll invite that run with a 3 wide receiver set. It worked for him last down, but here's the money down. In run, Bo Nix. Defense guesses pass. Nix goes to his card, and Bo Nix hits the short gain. Good run on clutch time for Bo Nix, but he is going to get contained for just a 3-yard gain. But it says it is first down, and that's because it's a turnover on downs. My confusion. Run containment, linebacker Dayan Henley. And another turnover on downs, bailing out the Chargers in their own territory. So 1st and 10, Chargers at their own 26. They're trailing by 11. Quick slant over the middle to the tight end, Disley, and incomplete. That play flirted with the interception split roll on the Broncos' defensive card. It's 2nd and 10. Ravens Steelers still at half. Steelers up by 3. Chargers split out 3 wide receivers. They'll retain a running back. It's Gus Edwards. Behind Stone Smart in the backfield. Broncos safety showing blitz. They guess run. Short pass, and it's going to be incomplete. That was going for Stone Smart. Smart had a opportunity in his receiving column wrong and couldn't get it. It's 3rd and 10 for the Chargers. .326, so a deep dime, but they're still showing blitz with that safety. Chargers have had trouble moving the ball. I wouldn't be surprised they throw short and try to pick up those crosshairs. Crosshairs are your friend. Crosshairs are available on a long pass too. Just why do that? Short pass, Lad McConkey, and no good, incomplete. He was doubled by a linebacker that went to the quarterback card. That's never good news. 4th and 10 at the 26. Chargers will punt. Good boot, J.K. Scott. It's 56 yards in the air back to the 18-yard line. Marvin Mims will fair catch it right there. The Broncos will take over at their own 18. Denver Broncos already in first place because of the Chiefs' loss earlier yesterday. Looking pass and incomplete. Chargers were guessing run, but they left 2 men in that look-in zone, and that bailed them out. 2nd and 10. Good call, Coach Tangora. Second half is underway in Baltimore. And we'll be returning to that game for more action as we move along. Gilman up close shows blitz from the safety spot for the Chargers. 3 wide receivers here for Bo Nix. Back to pass, looking short. This goes to Cortland Sutton and incomplete. Good call, Coach Tangora again, as the free safety was doubled up on the right, on the correctly chosen receiver by the offense. So that went to the 2-team column. It's 3rd and 10 now for the Broncos. Full spread formation, 4 wide receivers. Bo Nix is out of the pistol. We just saw a moment ago that he has the ability to break off a run. He's back to pass here, though. Looking short, and the pressure got to him. Sack on the play. It's Khalil Mack. Loss of 4, and that's going to force the Broncos to punt from their 14. And wow, good time for a good punt. And they got it 60 yards in the air. An 11-yard return, and that's going to get the Chargers out to the 37. They'll begin right there. 8:24 left in the third quarter. Chargers have been more than doubled up in offense, but they're hanging in there. 3 wide receivers on the field. Dobbins is the running back. Back to pass, looking deep. Empty zone deep, going to Stone Smart. On the quarterback card, Justin Herbert has got his man. That's complete to Stone Smart. In Denver territory, all the way down to the 32-yard line. Pick up a 31 yards. Stone Smart was capped at 31. The result was a 40. Justin Herbert finally goes over 100 yards passing. 10 of 22 for 101. First and 10 from the 32 of Denver. Even a field goal from the Chargers would cut this to a one-score game. Off tackle right. This goes to Gus Edwards. And on the defensive card, Gus is going to get 6 yards, beating that nose tackle with a 5 on the white die. DJ Jones missed that opportunity. 2nd and 4. Edwards still the tailback, blocking back set now for the Chargers. Off tackle to him. Run. He's going to lose a couple. Credit to Coach David Kukofka, calls run on that play. To make the stop. Makes it 3rd and 6. That would have been +8 in the first down if the defense called pass. So 3rd and 6, big 3rd down for the Chargers. 3 wide receivers. There's no running back. The fullback is Stone Smart back in the backfield with Herbert. So he's going to throw here unless Herbert himself is running. Nickel blitz from the Broncos. Back to pass, looking deep. And it's incomplete. Wide receiver was double teamed. And it's 4th and 6 at the 28. That's going to bring out Cameron Dicker, the kicker. 2 through 10. That kick is up and good. Dicker for the 3rd time. And those 3 field goals have made it a one-score game again. 8-point lead for the Broncos. They're up 17-9. Here's the kick from Cameron Dicker, fielded and returned out to the 20. Fumbled by the Broncos inside their 20, and the Chargers have recovered. First turnover of the game. Couldn't come at a better time for the Los Angeles Chargers. And they begin in the red zone. 1st and 10 at the Denver 18-yard line. Off tackle draw, Gus Edwards, and he gets nothing. On the defensive card, it asked for the onside guard to make a block, and Zion Johnson couldn't get her done. Gus Edwards struggling, 5 carries, 5 yards. 2 tight end set now for the Chargers. Safety blitz out of a 3-4 from the Broncos. Dobbins is your tailback. Off tackle draw. This goes to Dobbins, and he's going to get 3 yards only. There's a penalty, however, against the Broncos, and they came across early, so mark off 5 yards. Pocket the down, save it, and it's 2nd and 5 at the 13 now. 2 tight end set. Gus Edwards, the tailback. Safety up close shows blitz for the Broncos. Back to pass, Herbert. Looking short. He wants the touchdown, but too much pressure. He's going to dump it off. Going to the tailback, Gus Edwards now in the flat. And Herbert gets a receiver opportunity for him. Gus Edwards is not your man there. It's incomplete. Roll a 7 would probably be incomplete on any card for a tailback, but Gus Edwards not a good receiver at all. 3rd and 5 for the Chargers at the 13 of Denver. And you wonder what kind of field position or 1st down, 4th down situation needs to happen for the Chargers to kick a field goal. I would bet you're going to need a sack to kick a field goal, or lost yardage nonetheless, because he'll probably want to go for this. 3rd and 5, back to pass, looking short. Broncos double team the correct receiver and incomplete. It was going to be a must run on right, and the Chargers needed that. Good double team. And here comes Cameron Dicker, the kicker, for another field goal. And it is right through. 4 field goals for Dicker, second of this half. And the Broncos now lead 17-12 with 4:12 remaining in the third quarter. Broncos will begin at their own 30. Let's get back out to Baltimore. Check in and see what we're doing there. Looks like the Ravens have picked up a touchdown and taken the lead in this game. And how about that? Within the first minute of the second half, Lamar Jackson connects with Zay Flowers on a 75-yard TD strike. And the Ravens are now out in front of the Steelers 13-9. Pittsburgh just had an incomplete pass. They're going to settle for a field goal attempt from the 31. 48-yard field goal attempt by Chris Boswell. And it's good. There is a penalty, and it's against the offense. They have to back him up. 4th and 10 from the 36. Field goal range goes out to the 40. So they're still kicking. 53-yard field goal. No good. Field goal attempt was 2 through 9 and 12, so only 10 and 11 missed it. But that penalty just cost the Steelers 3 points on that missed field goal. Ravens still are on top 13-9. Oh, look at that view. You could really watch 2 games at once. Okay, Tim, stop playing around. Deep pass for Lamar, and that's caught. 27-yard pickup to Rashad Bateman as he beat Cameron Sutton, the defender, with a 5 on the white die. Sutton is a 0-rated corner. So 1st and 10, Ravens at the Pittsburgh 30. Here's a quick slant over the middle of Mark Andrews, and that's going to be a 4-yard pickup. Defense was guessing run, so that could have been worse. 2nd and 6. Yeah, that last pass was completed to that 0-rated corner only because of the injury to Joey Porter, the Steelers' right cornerback that typically starts. Ravens 2nd and 6. They're in a pro set formation. Defense guesses run. It's a draw to the quarterback and nothing doing. Lamar's going to lose a yard there. 3rd down and 7 at the Pittsburgh 27. Ravens split out 3 wide receivers. Lamar in a pistol. He's got Justin Hill beside him. Nickel shown here from the Steelers. And another quarterback draw on 3rd down, and Lamar on his own card on right is going to get nothing at all. Containment. And so 4th and 7 at the 27. Here comes a field goal attempt from Justin Tucker, 2-7 and 12. And he got it. Got the double sixes and converted it. And that makes it a touchdown lead. Baltimore now up on Pittsburgh, 16-9. 7:12 to go, third quarter. And after a touchback, the Steelers trailing by 7 now will take over. We head back out to Los Angeles. Final minute of the third quarter. Chargers have the ball back. 1st and 10 at their own 38. And did Denver just have another turnover on downs, maybe? I think maybe they did. Broncos, who are up on the Chargers 17-12, are now 1 for 5 on fourth down conversion attempts in this game. That's helping keep the Chargers alive here. Back to pass, short. Herbert forced to scramble with it, and instead he's brought down, and the ball's out. It's out. Herbert fumbles, and that ball is going to be recovered by, it looks like the Broncos are on it, and they are. First turnover of the game for the Chargers. Sack fumble. Sacked by the nose, DJ Jones. And the Broncos take over at the Los Angeles 38-yard line. Still a 5-point lead for the Broncos there. Back to pass. Looking deep. Empty zone. Going deep to Devon Vele. To the defensive card we go. And that pass is going to be incomplete. Got it to the zero-man column like you wanted. But hit that interception split roll. Chargers had a chance to pick it off. 2 through 5. Couldn't do it. 2nd and 10 as we reach the end of the third quarter. Chargers at home trailing the Broncos 17-12. Broncos 2nd and 10 at the LA 38. Pitch out. Jaleel McLaughlin, and he's got just 3 yards. Chargers called a run defense, but that went to the defensive card. 3rd and 7. Javonte Williams now officially fatigued in this game. He's the tailback here in a 3-wide receiver set. Nickel blitz from the Chargers. Big 3rd and 7. Flat pass. Marvin Mims going for that A-rated yak. And that's going to be interception split roll and incomplete. Oh, Nick's flirting with it again. 4th and 7 from the 35. Here comes a field goal attempt from Will Lutz from 52 yards. 2 through 10. It is up and right through. And the Broncos once again extend to an 8-point lead, 20-12. After a touchback, the Chargers will begin at their own 30. 13:48 left in that game. Now back in Baltimore. Ravens have the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Here's an inside run. Derrick Henry. Henry goes to his card, and he gets just 4 in the wrong column, 2nd and 6. Derrick Henry on the day, just 4 carries for 8 yards. Very surprising to me. That's a heck of a weapon to get it just 4 carries. 2nd and 6. Lamar back to pass. He looks short. He's going to Zay Flowers. He's doubled, and it's incomplete. Third and 6. That double was by the free safety. So 3rd down and 6 now for the Ravens. From their 28, 3 wide receivers. Lamar and a pistol. Here's an end run to him. Defense looking pass. Lamar wants his card, and he gets it. And Lamar gets 9 yards, and that's enough to move the chains. Needed 6, got 9. First down rushing Lamar. Oh my, the Chargers have just scored, and they're going for a 2-point conversion to tie this game. J.K. Dobbins just put up a 57-yard touchdown run, and the Chargers are going for 2 to tie this game up. 3 running backs, 2 tight ends, 3-4 blitz from the defense. A lot of zeros along that defensive front. I know they're good to excellent. I think I'd run it with all those zeros, but back to pass is Herbert. Short, defender opportunity, and no good, incomplete. Defender Riley Moss good enough to stand up to a 4 on the white die, and the Broncos are still in front, 20-18, with 12:36 to go in that game. With that in mind, I think we'll stay here. And let's check out the Broncos' ensuing drive. They begin at the 30. Denver has had 2 drives end on downs here in the second half and 2 drives end on downs back in the first half. Off tackle left side, and Javonte Williams is going to pick up 4 yards. Beats the linebacker with a 6 on the wide die at 2nd and 6. Broncos bring out 3 wide receivers. You got Sutton in the slot. Little Jordan Humphrey in the game. Chargers stay in a 3-4. Back to pass. Looking short. And flushed out of the pocket and forced to dump it off. We're in the flat. We're going to little Jordan Humphrey. And that's going to get to the 0-man column for a first down catch of 7 yards. New set of downs for the Broncos out to the 41-yard line. Chargers, so we've talked a lot about the Broncos. Chargers are 8-6. And they are positioned as a wild card team with a little bit of a cushion there. If they can keep winning, they're in the playoffs. Start losing, and you know the saying. F around and find out. Back to pass, looking short. Cortland Sutton then incomplete. Good call by defensive coach Tangora as he doubled him up again. And that set it to the double team column. 2nd and 10. Chargers bring their safety up now. Gilman showing blitz. Tailback for the Broncos now is Jaleel McLaughlin. McLaughlin torched the Chargers in the first game in this series with end runs. Nick's back to pass. He's out in the flat, going to Devon Vele. Receiver opportunity and nothing doing. Vele can't bring it in. So 3rd and 10 for the Broncos. At their own 41. Broncos 2 of 10 on 3rd downs today. Chargers just 1 of 9. Full spread formation. 4 wide receivers. Nickel blitz shown here from the Broncos. I'm sorry, from the Chargers. From the 41-yard line of Denver. And back to pass. Nick's going to Devon Vele. Defender opportunity. Vele's got the catch, and he converts the first down. 6-7 is what our dice say, and that's 6 on the white die. Beats the corner. And it's 1st and 10 at the 44. Now in Chargers territory. Blocking back set, still McMillan as your tailback. Nick's back to pass again. Here comes the blitz, and they got him. Tuli Tuapalotu with a sack of 7 yards. Clutch play for the Chargers defense, and it's 2nd and 17. Denver now back on their side of the field at the 49. And here's a pitch out on 2nd and 17. Jaleel McLaughlin, he's got good yardage, and he breaks the first down barrier. Jaleel McLaughlin, double sixes, gets 21 yards on his card on 2nd and 17. Backbreaker for the Chargers defense, especially considering I had just referenced that Jaleel McLaughlin crushed the Chargers with a bunch of end runs in their first matchup. Short gain opportunities on 7, 8, 9 for McLaughlin, but he said, hold my beer, I'm going double six on this guy. So new set of downs, Broncos at the 30. 2-point lead. Chargers desperately need to hold them to a field goal because a touchdown here, and you go right back to a 2-score game. Blocking back set for the Broncos. Back to pass. Nix looks short. Throws, no good. Tried to hit Vele. Nix couldn't find it in his right column. Defense was doubling Sutton again. They've been on him a lot. It's 2nd and 10. Baltimore now in the red zone. 2nd and 5 at the 7. Let's stay here in Baltimore. Ravens up by 7, and they're in the red zone. 2nd and 5. They can get a first down at the 2-yard line. Off tackle, Derrick Henry. Defense gets his pass. Henry goes to his card, and Derrick Henry has got a touchdown run. 7-yard touchdown run on what read as a plus 44 on Henry's card. And the Baltimore Ravens, with less than a minute left in the third quarter, have just opened up a 2-score lead on the conference-leading Pittsburgh Steelers. It's 22-9 Ravens. Extra point from Tucker is up and good. And that makes the score 23-9 and a 14-point lead. Let's head back to Los Angeles. First and 10 at the 15 now for the Broncos. And we've got a flat pass of 3 yards to Mims. A nice yak set up there by Nix of +3. And Mims is deadly, but a terrible roll. And he couldn't add to it. So 2nd and 7. Broncos at the 12. Back to pass again. Nix caught the defense looking run. Short pass going to Vele. And that pass is going to be picked off in the end zone by the Chargers. The Chargers have another pick. Tahib still picks it off. And let's see if he wants to take that back. He's about 2 yards deep. And they'll take the touchback. And so it's still a 2-point game. Another turnover by the Broncos in Chargers territory. Broncos 20, Chargers 18. Chargers have it 1st and 10 from their 20, 8 minutes and change remaining in this game. Denver's outgained them by about 150 yards. But they've lost the turnover battle. And that doesn't even count the turnovers on downs, and that's happened 4 times. Look in pass, Lad McConkey, yak opportunity set up for him, and a good one. McConkey's got good yardage. There is a penalty on the play, and it's a late hit on the quarterback. Big play there for the Chargers. They get 19 on the flat pass to McConkey, and a penalty yardage will carry him across midfield. 7:48 to go. Chargers 1st and 10 at the Denver 46. I know I haven't mentioned it yet, but oh, by the way, the Denver Broncos with a win tonight would clinch a playoff spot for sure. Here's a flat pass, Lad McConkey again, and this time nothing doing. Justin Herbert couldn't find it in his right column, 2nd and 10. Now exactly halfway through the fourth quarter here in Los Angeles, 7:30 to go. Chargers come out in 2 tight ends. They've got Gus Edwards at tailback. Broncos safety showing blitz on this one. Out of a 3-4. Off tackle run. This goes to Gus Edwards, and that's going to be a 3-yard gain. There was a linebacker in zone on that defensive card. Could have been a 2-yard loss, actually, but 4 on the white die. Just enough that the Chargers line could make the block. 3rd and 7 now, Chargers at the Denver 43. Very important. Field goal range begins at the 42. Huge down here when you're down by 2 points. 3rd and 7 at the Denver 43. Two tight end set. Gus Edwards, the tailback. 3-4 blitz here from the Broncos. Still waiting on the snap of the ball here. Coach Tangora taking his time to make the call. Again, 3rd and 7 at the Denver 43. Inside handoff. Gus Edwards on the ground on his wrong column, and he's got 5. 4th and 2 at the 38. From right here, it's a 2-9 field goal to take the lead. 55 yards from Cameron Dicker. It is up, and Dicker, the kicker, is right through. Cameron Dicker has put the Chargers in front with 6 minutes to go in this game, 21-20. Cameron Dicker, 5 for 5 on field goals in this game. Broncos begin at their 30. Down by a point. 6 minutes to go. First time they've trailed in this game. Flat pass. This goes to Devon Vele. Caught the defense looking run. Nix gets a receiver result. Vele had the catch, and he's got 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. Back in Baltimore, still 23-9, but the Steelers are setting up for a field goal attempt. From 49 yards out, here's Chris Boswell. It is up, and he's got it. And that'll make it 23-12, cutting it to an 11-point game with 12 minutes left. So the Steelers are still trying to come back in that one. Flat pass, 5 yards, and a first down to Devon Vele. 1st and 10, Denver now out at their 42-yard line. 5 minutes and change remaining. Running back Keon McLaughlin back to pass. Looking deep. Going to Devon Vele. Defensive card. And that's going to be caught. That's going to be a catch to Devon Vele. And he could go to the house. It is indeed a house call. Nix to Vele. 58 yards. And not only did the Chargers have to avoid those long gains in the zero-man column, that touchdown is actually courtesy of the safety blitz. Receiver result caught the crosshair for a free long gain. And the Broncos get the touchdown. They're going to go for 2. They're up by 5. They want to extend to a 7-point lead. Full house set. Chargers guess run, back to pass. Throw, and that is incomplete. So they do not get the 2-point conversion. And the Chargers still trail by 5 now. That pass, Bo Nix now 23 of 40. 325 yards passing in this game. As we just now lost connection to the Chargers ball game. So let's find that game number and get that back up quickly. You never know, but the way that game happened to crash, I tend to think that the crash was on my end, not theirs. And then we are indeed back in the game. So the connection loss was on our end. Chargers are 1st and 10 at their own 40. 4.5 minutes remaining. They trail by 5. Off tackle draw, defense guest pass. Gus Edwards on the defensive card picks up a short gain. That's going to get the Chargers across midfield and more. 9 yards beyond that, it's a 19-yard pickup for Gus Edwards. That runs the clock down to 3:18 remaining. And just as soon as I say that, the game glitches and puts us back to 3:54. Both teams all 3 timeouts. Under 4 minutes left in this game. Chargers trail by 5. They've got 3 wide receivers out there. Edwards stays in at tailback. Edwards 9 rushes for 38 yards, 4.2. Here's a look-in pass. This goes to Josh Palmer. And that pass is going to be caught, a gain of 5. 6 on the wide dive took us to the 0-man column, so it could have been a much better game, but hit the receiver result. Palmer was good enough to make the catch, 2nd and 5. From the 36 now, and with 3:18 on the clock, you got to figure a field goal is not in the cards here. That it's probably going to be pretty much 4-down territory from here on out for the Chargers. Justin Herbert still under 50% passing, 14 of 30, 142 yards. Look-in pass again, right back to Palmer. 6 on the white die, and he's going to convert that for a 1st down. That's the good news. Bad news is it was about the worst result you can find in that 0-man column, +7. But a new set of downs nonetheless at the Denver 29-yard line. Clock keeps running down to 2:42 remaining in this game. AFC West tilt. Broncos trying to get the season sweep here of the Chargers, as well as Coach Kukofka trying to clinch a playoff spot. Off tackle, Edwards, and Gus is ahead for 5 yards as the 6 on the white die, good enough to beat the linebacker Cody Barton. Clock keeps running down toward that 2-minute warning, 2nd and 5 here. Edwards is out. J.K. Dobbins now in at tailback. 2 tight end set. And here's a pitch out. J.K. Dobbins around the end, goes to the defensive card, and he beats the end. That's good for 5 yards at a 1st down. Chargers now into the red zone at the 2-minute warning in Los Angeles. Chargers are down by 5 points, 26-21 to Denver. But they're in the red zone, trying to get the lead here. 2 tight end set. J.K. Dobbins is your tailback. Safety is up close for Denver. He's showing blitz. Second trip into the red zone for the Chargers. Off tackle run, and he's going to lose a yard. 2nd and 11, J.K. Dobbins. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Franklin Myers, his 1st tackle. And both teams let the clock keep running. Now just 90 seconds left in this game. 2nd and 11 at the Denver 20. And Denver's kind of caught in no man's land. If you call timeouts, you might leave it for them later. There's an off-tackle draw, and that's going to be a 3-yard loss. Big play there as the Chargers try to pull a draw, but the defense called run. And so that loss of yardage now makes it 3rd down and 14 at the Denver 23. Both teams let the clock run. We're now down to just 1 minute left in this game. LA has all 3 timeouts. They probably want to save them for a defensive stop if they need it. We'll see what happens here. 3 wide receivers split out. Tailback is Edwards. 3-2-6 deep dime here by the Broncos. You start to wonder which receivers. 14.7 average. Josh Palmer is your best bet if you're going to want to try to get it on his card. It's an off-tackle draw. Gus Edwards just going to try to get some yards here. To the defensive card we go. And Gus Edwards picks up another short gain on 3rd and 14. Beats containment and gets 15 yards on 3rd and 14 for a clutch conversion on 3rd down. First and goal, Chargers at the 8-yard line. Clock runs down to 30 seconds. Both teams let it run. And on that play especially, I'm a little surprised that the Broncos wouldn't have called timeout. If the Chargers get a touchdown here, you're only going to need, as the Broncos, a field goal to get that win back. Get back in the game, you know. Kind of a full house set here and run. J.K. Dobbins around the edge. He picks up 2. That was on his right column. Credit to Coach Wk16 who called run on that play. Second and goal at the 6. Chargers burn their first time out. That stops the clock with 22 seconds left. And the way this is shaping up right now, it's touchdown or bust. Chargers can't do anything but go for it. They've got to get the touchdown. And if they get in, they've probably won this game. Denver just doesn't have enough time left on the clock. Again, a big run set here for the Chargers. 3 running backs, 2 tight ends. Safety up close for Denver. Coach Wk16 showing blitz. Denver looks pass, off tackle. Gus Edwards on his card, and he can't get it. Edwards hits the 0 reading on a 5, and it's 3rd and goal at the 6. And I assume the Chargers are going to take their second time out, and they do. So 3rd and goal at the 6. 15 seconds left in this game. And the Steelers have cut it to a 1-score game. It's 26-19. So we've got a good finish coming up in that one as well. But here in Los Angeles, our high leverage point, 3rd and goal at the 6 for the Chargers. They need this touchdown. Field goal does them no good. Still big set. 3 running backs, 2 tight ends. Herbert out of the shotgun. Safety up close. Shows blitz again for Denver. 2 cracks at it. Inside run. Gus Edwards on wrong to the defensive guard. Edwards gets a block from the guard. Touchdown! Gus Edwards. 5-yard touchdown run up the middle. The center, Bradley Bozeman, getting the block to spring him to the end zone. He's only got a 4 rating, but the extra boost with that big formation sprung the block. Chargers are up 27-26 with 1 second left. They'll go for 2. Pro set formation. Sneak for the quarterback, and Herbert's in. And it's a 3-point lead. Here's the kickoff. It's a touchback. And the Broncos are going to get 1 play down by a field goal from their own 30. So 4 wide receivers split out for a Hail Mary. Broncos need 70 yards. They've got 1 play to get it. Deep 3-2-6 dime. Here's the deep ball, little Jordan Humphrey, and it's going to fall harmlessly incomplete. And the Chargers, with a 17-point fourth quarter and a 26-point second half, come from behind and beat the Broncos at home 29-26 as these 2 teams split the season series. And the Broncos fall to 10-5. That'll mean they're tied with the Chiefs atop the division. Chargers are now 1 game behind both teams at 9-6. So the AFC West just tightened up with a big Chargers victory. We'll get out to Baltimore in a second. Real quick, let's take a look. Final yardage tally, Denver, 452 yards of offense, and the Chargers, 334. But they got it done. Let's step over into Baltimore. Ravens with the ball, and they just crossed midfield. 15-yard completion in the flat to Mark Andrews. 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 45, 4.5 minutes left. as we do welcome Anthony Tangora to the stage to talk about his big come-from-behind victory over the Denver Broncos. Anthony, I'm going to keep our audience looking at this Bronco game. I may interject from time to time. Real quick, here's an inside handoff. Derrick Henry on 1st and 10, and on his own card, he's going to lose a yard, 2nd and 11.
Jump to full screen on that.
Jump
to get our mugs off there if you want.
Say again, please.
You can get our faces off there if you want. You can see the game better.
Oh, aren't they? I think I have both. I thought I had both set up.
Yeah, go full screen if you want to watch the game a little bit more.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think it's fine to have the game up while you're up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying you can go full screen on the video if you want to the game. Yeah, okay, up to you. Because they know my voice, your voice. Yeah, the Chargers had a surprising win, huh? Wow. So at the end, I keyed, he got the long pass touchdown. At that point, I could see that he could bleed the clock and win it. So I went high variance, right? And went for the key. I didn't want to go that high variance. I didn't want to score a touchdown on the play, but I was going high variance all the way, saying, he's got to get down the field because he would have been able to bleed the clock and end the game. Okay, I wasn't going to stop him. And lo and behold, it actually turned out I needed every second. So the plan was to get to. I wanted the ball back. I mean, that was the plan, to get the ball back. The plan again worked out faster than I ever wanted it to. I did not want him to score a 58-yard touchdown on the first play that I actually went high variance. But holy mackerel, I scored with 1 second left. So I guess that was the right move. I guess. I mean,
I was kind of surprised that he was kind of caught in no man's land. We got a big 3rd and 6 coming up here for Baltimore that really is high leverage. Give me just a second on this. 3:18 to go at the 41-yard line. Not a good field goal position for Tucker, surprisingly. Quarterback draw to Lamar, and he gets nothing. So 4th and 6 at the 41-yard line of Pittsburgh. And I don't even think he can kick that. It's 2 through 7 if he gets the variable. So the Ravens are maybe going to have to punt, and they do indeed bring out the punter. The Steelers trail by 7 points. So this is a big game for all the teams looking at that 1 seed in the AFC. Here's a 48-yard punt, and it's going to be fielded and fair caught at the 4. I think I would have let that bounce, but everybody's different. You never know when that's going to kick you out a bad roll. So the Steelers, with 2:24 to go, begin at their 4-yard line. They got all 3 timeouts. They need 96 yards and an extra point to tie this game up. So back to, and I may call it a few plays here, but back to your game. I thought the biggest difference, and I should double check and make sure that David Kukofka hasn't popped in. I don't see him. I thought the big difference in this game was the aggression on 4th down of the Broncos, as you had 4 turnovers on downs, and I think all 4 of them were in your territory. 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half, and so you won the turnover battle 2-1, but that doesn't even count the 4 turnovers on downs.
Yeah, and look, what's interesting about it, what was it, 4 out of 5 stop? Oh, I lost your voice.
No, I'm here.
Okay, sorry. Was it 4? You said I stopped him 4 out of 5. Was that right?
Yes.
So those 4 calls on defense were pretty good. I mean, they weren't great calls. I wasn't keying the right guy. I wasn't doing anything perfect.
Right.
But they were decent calls. There was men in zone. There was, there was something right about the call, but they were not great calls by any stretch. Nice double teamer.
For the most part, I would agree with that.
Now, but the one he converted, he called an end run to Bo Nix, and I called run.
Yeah. And he didn't even make the block on that one. He just needed 3 yards.
Yeah. And in that drive, he scored his touchdown. You didn't really catch the second drive, but where Broncos went up 10-0.
A big 20-yard run on 2nd and 10 for Najee Harris on his own card. That's going to get the Steelers up to the 41 on the first play coming out of the 2-minute warning. They let the clock run. We're down to 137. That might have been the hurry up, I guess. 137 from 2-minute warning. I don't know. That might have been the hurry up. Yeah, right.
I mean,
so the Steelers can't get a field goal. So they're still 59 yards away, 137 and 2 timeouts. Go ahead. So back to this game. Yeah.
Back to staying on Pittsburgh for a second. Last I checked, Najee was a Pro Bowler. And that's not really it's a good card, but it's not a Pro Bowl card. 200 coming into the game, 227 for 1262, and 8 scores, 5.6 average. So, Pete's been playing him beautifully.
Yeah, well, Pete knows what he's doing, as I found out in an AFC Championship game once upon a time. And so he's got a Super Bowl title under his belt. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve for sure.
No doubt. But yeah, so one time the stop was on a contain.
That's right.
On the 4th and 5, you don't want to call an end run against my D because I got 2+3s on 6 and 8. Nobody home.
What do you mean? Say that again. You have 2+3s. What do you mean?
I'm on my defensive card. I have a +3 on 6, I think, and a +3 on 8.
Oh, yeah, and one of those came up too.
And he's running at a 6. He's running at Puna Ford.
Yeah.
So where's the conversion there? You got to roll 3 on the white die. That's your only chance, which would escape conversion because he wasn't running at Khalil Mack. Escape containment. That was the only way. So like I said, I wouldn't say they're all great defensive calls. They were good, but that one is. That one I was gonna get stopped. The luckiest roll, though, of course, what you think you missed it was the hitting the Dobbins long game. So
yeah, I did miss that run. I came back and I'm like, wait a minute, the Broncos or the Chargers have scored a touchdown. They're going for 2. So I had to look it up and see what had happened. And yeah, big run there from Dobbins. Was that what was his reading on the card? Was it long gain or?
That was his off tackle plus 61 natural. Yep.
Plus 61 natural, and he was 57 yards away. That's best time to hit that number. What a comeback. 17 fourth quarter points to get you the win. You're now at 9-6. Who do you have on tap next week?
Patriots.
Oh, that's a big game. They're 7-7, heading into their matchup with the Bills this week. It's a bigger game if the Patriots win it, of course, if they beat the Bills this week.
Well, I think that this win probably helps the Chargers' playoff chances substantially.
Oh, absolutely.
You win 1 out of 2 and you're in, if I had to guess. Screen to Najee, what happened there?
Screen to Najee. We get dead ball foul, backed up the offense 5 yards. So Steelers are in dire straits again. 3rd and 16. They're at their own 35. 1 timeout, and they still have 1:07 remaining. But that 16 yards in 2 plays is going to be tough to get.
Boy, the top of the AFC has just not been winning lately.
Yeah, a lot of teams up there have been kind of struggling. I think that's absolutely right. There's a must-run opportunity, 8 yards. So
all right.
Quarterback got half of that back, and Russell Wilson now with a chance on 4th and 8. So if he could convert this 4th and 8, Steelers still have a timeout in the bag. There's a minute left. Still a tough shot, but you'd be across the midfield. So I think they still have a shot here if they can get this conversion here on 4th and 8.
Let's check this defensive call. 4th and 8, Russell Wilson.
He's in the shotgun. He's got Najee Harris beside him.
I don't know if he's got a 6-run linebacker on the field.
Maybe target one of those 0 corners, and he does. Short to Van Jefferson and a catch for a big 4th down conversion.
Wow.
And the Steelers take their final timeout with 52 seconds on the clock.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't call that plenty of time with no timeouts, but, it's not.
I know. Definitely not plenty of time. But, yeah, once you've converted, 52 seconds.
Yeah.
Short passes, flat passes, mix in a few, maybe mix in a look in if you think he'll vacate that for you.
Yep.
Which he tried to do right there. Hitch to George Pickens with a 6-rated linebacker sitting there for him. Yak opportunity for Pickens, though, and a decent roll. He's going to get 6 yards, but that clock is moving. Definitely not the trade-off you want. 2nd and 4 at the 40. Clock winds all the way down to 30 seconds left. And maybe you wanted to spike that one instead and take the 3rd and 4.
Yep. Probably.
But it's 2nd and 4. Wilson out of the shotgun. You got to be thinking deep here at some point. You're running out of time. Short pass. Calvin Austin to the defensive car. We go. It's caught. And Austin's out of bounds at the 29. Pickup of 11.
He's got 5 plays, right? Max.
Yeah, you've got 22 seconds left of the clock. As long as you get out of bounds.
15, 8, 1. Now 4 plays max.
If you get out of bounds, you've got 3 or 4 plays here. And that's enough to short pass your way in. But you're counting on no sacks. You're counting on no tackled in bounds. You're counting on 3 completions without a miss, probably. It's a haul. We'll see what he wants to do here. They're staying in a 3-2-6 deep dime, or I should say, yep, indeed, they did stay in a 3-2-6 dime. So, you know, he can double up that deep pass. You might be tempted to keep going short.
I mean, what Najee's end run isn't half bad, right? No, see, I would.
Yeah, but especially out of a shotgun. Here's a screen to Najee.
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying.
Receiver reading Najee's going to get just 3 yards. He needs the sideline, and he can't get there.
Oh,
Tackled inbounds by Marlon Humphrey.
You go end run there. You tell me what is Najee Harris's end run card? Guessed wrong 9.
You're asking me what that reading is?
Yeah. What is Najee's end run guessed wrong 9?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
Staring right at it. There's Jalen Warren. End run wrong 9 is going to be a 20-yard run.
Yeah.
Brutal. By the way, that's the same place he got that plus 20 a little bit ago.
Yep.
3rd and 7 now, out of the shotgun. Here's a flat pass. Calvin Austin, 1 linebacker in zone, catch, 1st down yardage. Out of bounds, too, at the 17-yard line, stopping the clock with 1 second remaining. You're at the 17. You've got 1 play. What are you doing here, Anthony? Got to go deep, probably. Even if you want to target a short pass to a receiver, you're going to have – no one's going to get that 17, probably. Thoughts, Anthony? Possibly we lost Mr. Tangora. So final play of the game here. Ravens on top by 7. Steelers are 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 17. They got 1 shot. 3 wide receivers are on the field. The halfback is Najee Harris. Nickel from the Ravens here. Safety stays back, though. No blitz. Barring a penalty, this is the last play. I wonder if Pittsburgh would go for 2. They're going deep. Mike Williams on the defensive card with 2 men there. Nothing doing. No flags. Ball game. Ravens win at home. Your final from Baltimore. Ravens beat the Steelers 26-19 and take down the top seed in the AFC currently. And more importantly, keep the Ravens' playoff hopes alive for another week as they improve to 7-8. The Steelers will fall to 11-4. The Steelers next week will face the Kansas City Chiefs. And if the Chiefs win that game, they'd be at 11-5 with the Steelers and have the tiebreak in their pocket. But don't get too excited if you're a KC fan, because you already lost the tiebreak to the Buffalo Bills. They're also at 10-5, waiting to play the Patriots this week. Baltimore outgained Pittsburgh in this one, 398-346. Derrick Henry, just 9 carries, 31 yards. Turnover-free football tonight in the AFC North. 10 penalties, 60 yards on Pittsburgh, 6 for 44 on Baltimore. Congratulations to Tony Tilleria on a big upset tonight, at least based on the current records of our coaches. We're welcoming Anthony back into the stage, and we are also welcoming, says DK. That's David Kukofka. David, welcome to the broadcast. How are you tonight? Well, I don't see David's image, and apparently he can't hear me.
I can hear you.
I thought that I was coming through. So we still have Anthony with us. And that third box over here is for David Kukofka. David, if you do hear us, we're not hearing you. Feel free to. Oh, is that David? Are you there? Nope. Yeah, I don't think David's here. So the Broncos, like I say, last minute loss. I do have a message from Mr. Kukofka. He tried again, but it's not letting me in. So that's okay. Tech issues happen. So, but yeah.
So how did the Ravens get into these playoffs?
Huh? So
what's the Ravens' path?
Let me see if I can recreate that for you, Anthony. I may not be able to recreate it for you, but yeah, I certainly looked into that. So let's go ahead and get back to full screen here. And I'm going to need to go to my, let's see, postseason tracker. Where did I explain why the Ravens are still alive? I think I covered that somewhere up here. If I can't see it, I'll estimate it. 11-6 packed answer. Yeah, it looks like we're going to go back to our standings. Let's do that. So the Ravens are now going to be from 6-8 to 7-8. My bad. Let's not sell Mr. Tolarius short. So at 7-8, he can still get to 9-8. Now, I found ways that both the Dolphins and the Ravens could advance at 9-8, but at least one of them was contingent upon a specific tiebreaker with either you or the Bengals. So you having already won at 9-6, I may have to revisit the eligibility for Dolphins and Ravens. Let's take a look at their tiebreakers. Ravens, they lost twice to the Bengals. So that was right. They beat the Chargers and lost twice to the Bengals. So the Ravens were hoping that you are the one that's going to still be the team they're tied with at the end. So you just got your 9th win. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you got your 9th win. If you get your 10th, if you get your 10th win, that should eliminate the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
But they can beat you in a limited tiebreaker with you because they beat you earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm. But it's got to be sort of a one-on-one because I imagine
one of those the way it broke out with the variables, because all these scenarios are presented with if this and this, then that,
Right.
So when you're going through that, at least one of these two teams, talking about the Ravens and the Dolphins, kind of needed both things to happen, where one of them only needed one more thing to happen. So I'd have to get into that. Looking at the Dolphins, however, their tiebreaker situation, not as good. They've got to win over the Texans. That's probably not likely going to help them, right? And let's see. Yeah, they just don't have the tiebreaker. They don't have games against their primary contenders here. So they're going to be, if they get to 9-8, they're going to be looking at another 9-8 team and probably need to survive a 2-way tiebreak that would come down to the conference record, or a 3-way tiebreak that would come down to either head-to-head sweep among those 3 teams, which they probably would not be able to capitalize on, or at that point it would probably go to common games and would take some research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, but we'll try to get all these things updated. I've got, I tell you what, work just started again for me today, as a matter of fact, after being off for practically 2 weeks. So I've had the sweet freedom to kind of spend a lot of time doing FFFL, piling up broadcasts, keeping us updated on playoff scenarios. We'll see how well I do now that the boss is knocking on my door on a daily basis again. So,
well, it's kind of you've got Bengals, Ravens, Patriots, Chargers, all kind of in the mix there. And I don't know if you enter the Broncos in that mix now or not. No, because they're up at 10. Okay, but still, that's a lot of teams in that mix. So that Chargers-Patriots game is kind of important for a couple different reasons next week. But I'm not sure
especially
who
if
the
the
Bengals
Patriots
face.
win.
Yeah.
If the
Yeah,
Patriots win and get to 8-7, they're still in pretty good position if things were to break okay to get that wild card. Their problem is their last 3 games are Bills, Chargers, Bills. And those are pretty tough games.
Yeah, those are tough games.
As I'm sure Dennis would be happy to agree. Hi, Dennis.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm glad to help your Chiefs out tonight.
Still alive for the division as well, surprisingly.
Yeah, thanks to Dennis's deduction, there is a path somehow, some way. But yeah, I mean, mostly that win helps just Chargers wildcard chances, and Chiefs. I imagine that helps your AFC West chances as well. And really, the Chargers had we only touched on. Chargers had no business winning that game. We didn't move the ball for 3 quarters. We just could not move the ball. It just couldn't happen.
Yeah, and again, I think that goes back to my key to the game. Losing the turnover battle 2-1 is one thing, but then giving up 4 more turnovers on downs. And by the way, I want to be clear. I'm not criticizing Mr. Kukofka at all. He is hardly the most aggressive 4th down coach in this league, I assure you. They were actually, as far as I can recall, I don't know that I would say necessarily any of those were, to me, obvious. Why are you going for it? But when we'll saying, live by the sword, die by the sword. And I think tonight he died by the sword with those 4 turnovers on downs.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it, whether it was a good move or bad move at all. Myself, I would say that if you were going to take a 3-score lead against this Chargers team, the way we were moving the ball, you take it. But I don't know that opportunity ever showed up. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I can't remember that.
Because what happened was Dobbins hit a big one, and then on the last drive, it was just the biggest play. I mean, Edwards hit a couple of them, but it was a 3rd and 14. 3rd and 14. I go too tight. He goes dime. I'm like, okay, here we go. I mean, at the very least, I'm going to get a 4th and short. A fourth and short passable. 4th and short pass.
Right. That's what I thought you were going for, was to make it a more manageable short pass down. What was the result when you converted this again?
Plus 15, because there was a 7 sitting there on the off tackles. You're a man. It was a 3-2-6. I mean, there was a good chance of a short gain too. Not a high chance, but reasonable. Yeah. But you figure worst case was short pass position or must run position for Herbert, which is important. +8, +9. But best case, boom, he hits the plus 15. But the play before the touchdown, Gus was going off tackle wrong, and it was from the 6 and hit the dreaded 5. I mean, it was like something like 25 out of 36 touchdown there. I thought it was doomed. But the unlikely 0-4 center makes the block on the 5 roll because the Chargers went full house.
I called that out. Your 4 blocker got the job done because of the extra tight ends you had in the game.
Because of the full house. Yep, the full house was the +1. So sometimes you steal one. Sometimes that was a theft.
You don't have to convince me. I've lost back-to-back games by a single point. So I definitely hear what you're saying. But congratulations to you, Anthony. Listen, you're still very much both in the playoff hunt and, realistically in the division hunt as well. Broncos and Chiefs losses this week now have you a game behind both teams. So you're knocking on the door, and you certainly have my attention, and I wish you luck down the stretch here, buddy.
Thank you. Before I let you go, I just need to apologize to Cameron Dicker, who I really slandered early on in the season.
You were slandering hard on
he did keep me in this game with 50 hitting 55s like they were extra points. So There you go.
Hey, kickers have good days and bad days, and you were due a good day. And you frankly picked a good day for him to have a good one, getting just barely by here in the fourth quarter. So well done, Anthony.
Thank you for doing it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to go ahead and close this broadcast. I don't know when the next broadcast is going to be. We'll keep our eye out for the remaining games, and I'm going to still keep trying to, keep some broadcasts rolling for the USFFL. But whoever watched this tonight, I hope you enjoyed it. Harlan, wherever you are, I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast as well. And we will wait and see you all on the next USFFL broadcast coming up soon.